Producer. Not the first one. Tell me when.
We need to get more. Hey, somebody run the bourbon so we get some more pina coladas.
He's producer. Yes. I will not. What about the next tweet? The next tweet I can
You don't
retweet?
want us to retweet anything?
I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for you to tell me. Let's go.
Let the party begin in New Orleans. Final Four week is here, and so is the Field of 68. For the first time, we are bringing you comprehensive coverage from previewing the Final Four up until the last buzzer of this college basketball season. We are live from Gordon Biersch. This is 200 Poydras Street in New Orleans. So if you're in the NOLA area, come and see us. First round is on. Jeff Goodman, he's buying. Absolutely, exactly. We're with you here. I'm John Fanta. He's Terrence Oglesby. Goody's here. Rob Douster's here. I cannot believe that you two are sitting on the same side of a table.
Well, it was not be for long.
It was not by choice. It was not by choice.
All I know is he's at the end, so if I push, he's going down.
The only reason I'm at the end is because Goodman didn't want his frame showing up in this shot over here.
We got your gullet.
Yeah, that's why. Throw me to the wolves. Real team player over here.
Oh, man. Let's get it going, guys. Again,
I can't see you with this.
It's okay. Better heard than seen.
There you go. We'll put it up in the front here.
Better heard than seen. I mean, again, who's the producer of the show? I'm not sure. We're seconds into the entire week. At what point will Dagan Hughes come in front of the camera and just do a Will Smith on Jeff Goodman?
Hey, listen, I'm already in front of the camera.
We're at 200 Poydras Street, so we're right across the street from Harrah's, which is extremely tempting for Randolph Childress.
That's right.
Who apparently cashed a $400 wager right off the get-go.
Say that. His wife might be watching. I mean, come on. We don't need everybody to hear. Taxes, they're going to come after him.
It's a block away from the Hilton Hotel. It's right across from Harrah's, so come visit us. All right, guys, we've got a lineup of guests all throughout the week. If you're ready for the Final Four, imagine how ready we are. We can't wait to bring you this coverage for the first time. I'll welcome in the governor here, Mr. Douster. We've been waiting for this. It's here. What's the vibe like for you, for us, and in New Orleans in general?
Well, if you want to know what the vibe's like, I just got a cup of coffee, which I really needed. I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning. But it's actually kind of tame right now. People are kind of flowing their way in. They're kind of arriving here. But I don't think I could be any more excited for a Final Four than I am right now. And part of the reason why we haven't had one of these in like 3 years. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the one that we had last year, Jeff, you were there. It was not great. It was nothing compared to this, but it's just part of it is we got the Coach K storyline. Part of it is we got the Duke-North Carolina rivalry. Part of it is we have 4 Blue Bloods at the Final Four. But for me, the biggest – you always look forward to this. Like, the college basketball season builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until you get to the NCAA tournament, until you get to the Sweet 16, until you get to the Final Four. This is the reward for busting your ass all season long, and now it's here. We haven't had one of these in 3 years, guys.
Yeah, we got
3 years.
I mean, he said it.
Sean Paul was 11 last time we had a Final Four.
It feels like it. It does feel like it. But I was in Indy, and you know what? You tried to be appreciative last year of the tournament, but it wasn't the same.
By the way, can we just pause real quick? Because RC, you can come over here and get your cup of coffee. They gave it to Goodman.
Yeah,
we got Randolph Childress here with us.
I don't need the cup.
Yeah.
Let's go, Randolph Childress.
There you go.
Hey!
Yeah, we need that live studio audience.
RC, you forgot your hat.
No, but like last year was listen, we were fortunate to have a tournament, but it wasn't the same. There was no atmosphere. There were no coaches. You know, I'm there, and the only coach I was able to talk to face-to-face was Eric Musselman through a fence at the baseball field. That was it, and I got yelled at for doing that. So here –
Wait, you got yelled at?
Oh, yeah.
That can't be too common an occurrence.
Yeah, I mean, here we got – listen, we are – I don't think it's a Rob Douster throw, but it might be – I could throw a football that far to the Hilton. What do you think? What do you think? Can I hit the Hilton? The Hilton is right there, which is the coach's hotel. The casino's right there. So if you want to stop in, come by Gordon Biersch, because this is the place to be for the next 5 or 6 days. And again, I might even buy you a beer if you come through. So I don't know, Fanta. We'll see. Depends how much.
You're buying. That's happening. There's no
100%
question
behind.
about it.
Well, here's the big thing, too, is it's a celebration not only of everything that these teams have done, but everything everybody else has put into it. All the coaches are here. You guys are here. Field of 68 in year 2, nonetheless. I mean, that says a lot about you guys. It says a lot about everybody that you've put together, this production we have here at Gordon Biersch. It's a great place to be. This is – and the Hefeweizen, by the way, is really good. I don't know if people know this or not. My man Doster and some of these guys, they have the Hefeweizen. They are
I'm not
very
even on
good.
camera right now. My sources can confirm it.
No, but it is an excellent place to be. The energy's right. Now, we're still leading into the weekend.
Yep.
Tomorrow's going to be when everybody starts to convene, and you're going to see a lot of faces walking around the streets of New Orleans. But what an excellent time to be a college basketball fan. 4 Blue Bloods. 4 of them in this Final Four. It's going to be an excellent weekend of games. Really excited to get going.
Live from Gordon Biersch, join us, 200 Poydras Street. Wherever you are in New Orleans, stop on by, have some fun with us. Thanks to our partners at Gordon Biersch. We're presented by Bet Rivers as well. So let's tee it up here. Out of all the things happening this week, Jeff Goodman, when you walk into Caesars Superdome tomorrow for press conferences and to get the week rolling, what's the most intriguing thing that you're looking at for this Final Four?
I mean, it's K. It's got to be K. I mean, everything else becomes secondary now because of the storyline that is Coach K maybe in his swan song going out with a national title. Like, it's the ultimate storybook ending. And, again, there was a point in the year where we didn't think this was probably going to be possible, right? I mean, they didn't look great. I was there March 5th. I mean, honestly, coming out of that one.
Hit the buzzer. Point guard play.
Point guard play. Point guard play. That's right. But, I mean, they looked awful that game. And now they've responded. This young group has responded. And just like kind of Carolina has responded from you and I killing them back in November at Mohegan Sun, calling them soft.
We were very nice.
And they
I was
could
a part
hear
of that
us.
crew.
I'm taking credit for their turnaround.
Yeah, you started
I am
it.
taking the credit.
Well, but why did it take him like 2.5 months after you called them soft?
That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure, honestly, Caleb Love might have heard Rob Doster calling him soft from like 10and feet away at Mohegan Sun.
We did the show. We did the show on the court, and they walked out as we were doing the show on the court, calling them soft, just ripping them.
Killing them.
Well, they needed it. They needed
did.
it. But
Yeah.
it's been the emergence of R.J. Davis, in my opinion. This Carolina team, Caleb Love's a volume guy. That's what he's going to be.
Always.
But we're going to talk about the storylines going in. I actually think, believe it or not, I think there's going to be less pressure for Duke going in to this game than there was going into Cameron for Coach K's last game.
Doster said too.
So-
I kind of buying into it, but I still feel like it's the Final Four. Like, the world is watching now. The world was watching then too, but this is bigger. This is.
But everybody's dealing with the same hoopla here.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was. Hey, Jerry Seinfeld shows up to my game. I'm fired up. So like I wouldn't have been able to contain
Wouldn't
myself.
have changed your
but it's
shot
everybody.
selection.
No, it certainly wouldn't have. But at the same time, you got to think about what everybody. Like, you had every player. They're walking out through a tunnel of guys that have been at Duke 40 years ago. And all those things build up. Now everybody's dealing with the same amount of pressure.
But isn't the pressure still there to deliver K a national title in his final year?
But there was a reward for winning. The reward for there was no reward for winning in Coach K's last game. They had already clinched the regular season title. They weren't going to be a 1 seed no matter what happened. They weren't going to be a 3 seed no matter what happened.
I still think there's
because they
a
didn't
ton of
deserve to be a
pressure.
2 seed. They
Yeah.
should have been a 3
Okay.
seed. They still got a 2 seed despite the loss.
Let's reverse it then. Which of these 4 teams walks into the building this week with the least amount of pressure on them?
I mean,
Villanova by far.
It's Villanova.
By
It's not even
far.
close.
Like, nobody's even expecting them to play with Kansas without Justin Moore.
Do you think they will?
Yeah,
I do.
They'll play with them. I just don't think they'll be able to play with them for 40. I think they play with them for 30, and then they get worn down. And to me, I think we're going to see Eric Dixon either get into foul trouble or just absolutely wear down if he has to play 35 minutes because he hasn't done it all year.
This just has the makings of everything Jay Wright does, though. I mean, they've only played 6 guys all year long. They're I would not their most important player, but I would say their most talented player on that roster goes down with an injury, kind of rallies the troops. You have a guy like Brian Antoine who's getting older and starting to – he says he's earned this trip. He's earned this opportunity. It's going to be interesting to see who steps up for Villanova, and that's going to be a big point. It just seems like something that Jay Wright might be able to pull off.
Well, what's interesting about the matchup is that Kansas is a different team from what they were even 4 weeks ago. Bill Self said it to us last week in Chicago. Defensively, he has seen a climb. And the element here is you go into so many matchups with Villanova and you say, well, we're not going to win the point guard matchup. But hit that button again because Remy Martin's given Kansas a different edge.
He has, but you still, I mean, listen, Colin Gillespie or Remy Martin, who are you taking?
Colin
who
Gillespie.
are you trusting? Right, you're trusting Colin Gillespie over any point guard in the country. You still don't know what Remy Martin you're going to get.
I was going
Right?
to say I might trust John Fanta. I might trust Terrence Oglesby. I might trust Randolph Childress over him. I might trust Sean Paul. I don't know about Dagan Hughes.
I don't know. I saw Sean Paul's
could you not
jumper
trust
before
him?
we got going here. I saw
Silky.
It did
Silky,
go in.
come on.
Silky smooth, this guy.
The point was, at least you have the potential option. DeJuan Harris is
Listen,
not going to deliver.
No,
that.
here's what it is about Remy.
Kansas without Remy, being Remy right now, you would say Villanova, you'd still say, I'll take Villanova without Justin Moore.
The thing about Remy is Kansas already wasn't like a number 1 seed caliber team without him doing anything throughout the whole year. So anything that he provides is going to be a positive, right? Anything that is going is gravy. It's going to raise the level of that team. And when he is good, he is great. And when he is great, Kansas ends up being a team that can do things like get to the Final Four and win a national title.
Without Remy, are they in the Final Four?
No.
Why?
I mean,
Maybe.
look at their
Maybe.
path.
Probably.
Look at who they beat.
Yeah, I
they
mean,
beat
they did.
As
crazy.
bad as they played against Providence, they needed him to be good.
They did.
But you guys ask, who would you trust more between Colin Gillespie and Remy Martin? I think their roles are completely different.
They are.
I
They're
mean, it's not
completely
even
different players.
Yeah, and they're relying on Remy's spurt ability, his ability to turn a game on its head, get 10 to 12 points, where Colin Gillespie's just Mr. Solid. He's a machine. He's like
But
the
he
Terminator.
can't just be Mr. Solid in this
He's got to
game.
be spectacular.
That's the thing. Like, you got to
right.
get your A game. He can't be a guy that just sits back and runs the team. He's got to score, run the team,
Yeah.
coach the team. He's got to do everything.
He's got to coach the team. He's got to coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
He coaches the team.
He,
does.
look, Jay
I would
Wright
give him
says he
that.
coaches. Here's the one thing. Gillespie's also a little bit banged up and
But he
was
has
against
been. He has
Houston.
been
He has been
forever.
for a while.
Yeah.
I thought you saw a little bit in the after effects of a tough Michigan team. Now you're facing Houston. He only made one shot in that game. They are going to need him to be great. The one guy that's emerged, Jermaine Samuels, did not have a particularly good regular season by the standards that he has. He's averaged 18-8 in this NCAA tournament.
Well, you know what it is? He's the mismatch guy. And my biggest concern without having Justin Moore there, it's not the shot making, it's not the scoring, it's that they can't go to that lineup where you put Jermaine Samuels at the 5 and still have 5 dudes on the floor, right? If you go back and watch that Michigan tape, what they did was they went to that smaller lineup. They basically said, look, we think that if we guard Hunter Dickinson with Jermaine Samuels and you have Hunter Dickinson guard Jermaine Samuels, we are going to win that mismatch, right? We're going to win that matchup. Jermaine went for 22. Hunter Dickinson missed 100 layups, right?
Has a lot to do with matchups, too.
And
Yeah,
oh, by
it
the way,
does.
Hunter Dickinson is a lot better than David McCormick.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they got to take advantage of that. Jermaine Samuels has to have a great game. Brandon Slater has to look for his shot. We saw it in November. He was great. Then he gets
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his confidence. He's just not the same player.
All right, let's get back to Duke and Carolina here. We're going to take a deeper dive when we welcome Randolph Childress on set. We've got special guests as well. Who do you like in terms of the way they're playing going into this week more? Because, look, Carolina's playing their best basketball of the season. Quite obviously, Duke has looked the part, too. Where do you side on this, Terrence?
As of right now, I don't think there's any way you pick anybody but Duke. And the simple reason is their offensive weapons are absurd, especially when you talk about Paolo Banchero. You knew about him. You know what Mark Williams is going to be as a vertical spacer. You know all of those things. And then moving forward, Jeremy Roach has to be that guy for you, and he has been that guy. Anytime you play the number 1 defense in the country in Texas Tech and you don't miss a shot for 9.5 minutes, like – we're talking serious offensive firepower. I love Duke. I love the way Carolina's
while
playing,
you were
but Duke.
talking, we just had the biggest switch of all time.
Yeah.
Like in the history of
Get him out of there.
television,
Get him out of there.
We just did it. And it almost
Bullpen,
went
baby.
unnoticed. It almost went unnoticed. Randolph Childress,
To the bullpen.
maybe as good a shooter as we've ever seen. For Rob Doster, maybe the worst shooter we've ever seen.
And we're taling about playing a pickup game, man.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, so
right
That's
here,
when
I
they-
got
that's
you
when
back.
There we go.
Hey, that's
I
when
got
they
it.
used to bring Randy Johnson out of the bullpen.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
All right, RC, let's talk Duke Carolina. Your first thought on the matchup, outside of the storyline of it, like what are you most intrigued to see happen on the court?
I think the biggest thing for me on the court is going to be the matchup inside with Armando and Williams. I think who wins that matchup?
could go either way.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
You know, and the last meeting, we talked about the emergence of R.J. Davis. He was the best player on the floor, you know, in Cameron. So,
Right.
But Baycott was really good.
And Baycott was really good, but I thought R.J. Davis was unguardable. I thought he got where he wanted. He created for everyone else. So I expect them to be – they have the bodies to defend him better. But I think whoever wins that matchup with Armando and Mark Williams is going to be a big
It might be
so
who
long
gets
way.
in foul trouble first.
That's
Out of those
what I
two,
mean.
right. And Mark Williams has a tendency to get in
Yes.
foul trouble. How about this one? Am I crazy to say, and I know you're going to laugh, who wins the Paolo-Brady-Manic matchup?
I think you're – no.
Am I crazy?
You're not crazy.
I mean,
No.
think about it.
Not the way he's been
sounds
playing.
insane,
No.
right? It sounds like, like Paolo, top 5 pick, Brady Manic. But honestly, if Brady Manic makes 5, 6 threes,
Paolo Banchero, top 5 pick. Brady Manic, all Gran Canaria.
yeah, that's
Like,
right. That's right.
that's what it's
But
going
go
to
ahead
be.
and sum up college basketball.
Although Brady Manic could make a team.
He could. He could
He
shoot the ball.
absolutely can make a team. When you're 6'10" and you can shoot it like
shoot
that,
like that.
you're absolutely going to have a chance to make a team. And my take on it is, number one, obviously, Brady Manic, whether he's making the shots or not, he's stretching the floor. You
Yes.
got to go out and guard him, which gives who?
Gives Armando
Space.
Gives Armando space.
It gives them space.
Well,
those
I think they're
guards.
going to put him in the ball screen, too, with R.J. Davis. They're going to force him to switch, and then now you're going to have Paulo guard him. You got to switch ball screens with him. They're not going to hedge and recover with him. So, I mean, it'll be the question he's going to have, though, is him guarding.
He can't. He can't.
And the
We know that.
foul trouble that's going to come from that.
Right.
So if he avoids the foul trouble,
He's got to get his 20 because he's going to give up 20.
he's going to give up
Maybe more.
35.
Maybe more. Well, if they go to Paulo enough, yes.
Let's
he
take-
could give up 45.
But
if
I
they
think that's
kept
one of the
going to Paulo.
adjustments that they made. They started giving him the ball, and he stopped
Right.
settling for threes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we've had that issue we talked about with Auburn. We like Jabari Smith. We think he never get the ball. Duke is saying, hey, get the ball, and running plays, get into the mid-post, drive it, attack. They can't guard you. He's not settling for threes.
The one thing, as soon as you said that, I was like, man, that's a crazy. And then I started to think about it. But their stats are roughly similar throughout
crazy,
this
isn't
tournament.
it?
It's crazy to
That's
think
amazing.
about. But the difference is Banchero's getting it himself, and Brady Manic is relying on R.J. Davis. To me, R.J. Davis is the key to the whole thing for Carolina because they've decided to put the ball in his hands. As he's gotten the ball in his hands more, and they've turned Caleb Love kind of in a spot guy. Now, he's still getting rocks up. The dude had 20 shots the other day. What did he go, 6 for 21?
Right.
I respect it. Our kind of guy.
I love him.
Hey, RC,
There we go.
our kind of guy, baby.
These two
I
that,
love it.
Like,
It's a question. Keep
Hey,
shooting. You
yeah.
got to keep shooting.
I'm here with it. But you also take the ball out of his hands a little bit, so that ball's moving. He's getting into the paint. They're finding easier looks, but their stats have been relatively the same.
Let's talk about Carolina because in the midst of everything, you watch any national show, and that's not what we're giving you here at Gordon Biersch. We're with you. We're right across the street from Harris.
Get over
We're a
here.
block away
Right. What are you
from the
waiting on?
Hilton. We're at 200
beers.
Poydras Street.
Man,
Good
are you
beers.
drinking?
I don't have a drink yet.
Anna, what is going on?
Oh, no, I drink by night. The sun hasn't gone down yet.
There was no
He's
sun.
like a gremlin.
All there was
and
wind.
this is Rob's beer, right, by the way. He's trying to leave me double-fisted like
I
it was
don't
mine.
start drinking until later tonight when the hat comes on.
What is up with this?
What are we doing here?
This
Oh, my
is my
goodness.
party hat.
Party
It's my-
hat.
it's my
Man,
party
a
hat.
Party hat.
And look who we've got here.
We got Wade Mason,
Come on, wait.
the king of New Orleans. What's up, man? What's going on?
Good.
What do you think of the hat?
I mean, Wade.
Man, right at home, man. Right at home. You
Right
fit
at home.
right in.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The vibe around here is special. Your thoughts on this Final Four?
You know what, man? From the time I got off the plane, it was a different energy. It really was. Now, I don't know if I'm just, happy to be home or whatever, but I mentioned to a couple of friends of mine, you couldn't have had a better field. You know what I mean? Like, Blue Bloods outside of
it's
Kentucky.
only gonna get better.
Yeah, the Blue Bloods outside of Kentucky. And I'm just excited. I'm waiting for the fans to get here so the city of New Orleans can really see what it's like. Because I've been telling my friends for years, man, Final Four is crazy, this and that. But they used to Mardi Gras, they used to Essence Fest, they used to Super Bowl, All-Star. I'm like, this is different because the passion is different. So I'm ready for the fans to get here, man, and all my boys go on bourbon and really experience a good time.
I'm ready for him, too.
I was here 5 years ago. I was here for the NBA All-Star game, and it was good. But I don't think it's going to be like this because, again, you have the fan base.
Yes.
And these fan bases are all obviously prideful, strong. Now, again, you don't have maybe the insanity that you did of like Texas Tech or in Arkansas, but again, Kansas rolls strong.
Yeah.
Carolina's hungry. I mean, think about it, right?
Everybody.
And the probably the least is Villanova, and they're still pretty good.
And
so
Nova Nation,
this city's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Where do we got to go? I know you're kind of Mr. New Orleans here, and tomorrow night you can kind of pump your party here a little bit for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
it's invite only, so it's kind of exclusive here. I don't know if you can get a ticket.
You know what? I'm leaving here and going to have a meeting with the Pumps when I leave here, but I'm not the exclusive type of guy, and trying to make it more exclusive, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm a have-not. You know, I'm not a guy that have. I'm not a silver spoon type guy. So it's not gonna be the who's who getting in, and the JUCO dudes and D2 dudes, and everybody getting in. We all go fake like we rich. You know what I mean? So
Our
that's my whole
producers
deal.
just jumped for joy.
Yeah,
right.
I get ready to say I almost felt
Like
important
we're
for
in.
a second there, but
we all.
They
all getting in.
got this on video.
It's all
They got
good.
this on video.
It's all
Good
good.
with it?
Oh
Okay.
man,
Wade,
it's not
all
gonna
right,
be.
so a little background on Wade, guys. A little background on Wade. So I've known Wade a long, long time. Wade's been an assistant coach who has grinded it up, like grinded up the ladder. Stephen F. Austin, and the best thing about Wade Mason, he kicked cancer's ass. That is the best thing. And Wade, take me through 4 years ago?
3
years ago.
3.
I mean, I remember not even you calling me and telling me, but Kyle Keller calling me, the head coach of Stephen F. Austin, and saying, hey, listen, this is some serious shit. Like, we don't know if Wade's going to make it. What was that like the day you found out you had cancer?
To be honest, man, when I woke up from my colonoscopy, man, I never forget. The doctors really couldn't make eye contact. One of our assistant coaches, who's one of my best friends, Jeremy Cox, he didn't want to look at me. And Coach Keller, man, he just, wait, you got cancer. I'm like, nah, you got the wrong dude. I've been playing sports.
You're in denial.
I've been playing sports my entire life, never been hurt. You know, athletes, man, we think we tough.
invincible.
Yeah, we invincible. And I'm like, nah, you got the wrong dude. He like, look, there's no time to argue. You have cancer, man. And you're in danger of it spreading. We need to have surgery ASAP. So now I'm like, you know what, man? My mind immediately went from me to my family. I got to call everybody and tell them what's going on. Everybody got to get here, you know, fly, drive, whatever. Everybody got to get here. And then my kids. It was a whirlwind, man. I went from being anemic to just a simple physical blood work to colonoscopy and waking up having colon cancer. So the first surgery, man, was cut half my colon. Then I had 6 rounds of chemo. Well, take that back. After they do the surgery and cut half my colon, they tell me I'm good. We got it all, you good. So hey, man, this is June. So my thing was, you know what, man, 6 weeks I'll be back at practice, got to be back on campus, rock and roll. July 7th, the doctor called me back in. Hey, Wade, we got some bad news. It's spread, now it's stage 4. Now it's in your liver. I'm like, hold on, man. Y'all told me y'all had it all. Like, that's a different peace of mind. Y'all told me I had it all. Now it's stage 4. And, you know, I was ignorant to it. Cancer never affected anybody in my family. And one thing about it, when it don't affect your family or you tend not to
Pay attention to it.
You
You don't think you don't get it hereditary.
Yes, and that was me. So when they say stage 4, I'm going off of what I had heard. Stage 4, I'm about to die. How long I got left? And one thing about it, man, the doctors, they do it so much. They don't sugarcoat nothing. They're blunt with it, almost to a fault. Like,
wow.
They told me, look, yours is curable. So my whole thing is, like, what does that mean? There was like, there's a chance, chemo, whatever. There's a chance. I said, well, what's that option? And it was like hospice. I was like, what? I said, so you really got people that come in here, and y'all tell them that? I had to get up for a second and walk out the room, man, just to thank God that I wasn't that. But you still got to keep in mind, you're in a hospital full of people that didn't receive the same news you received. You know, so, I mean, I went, so I had the colon surgery, 6 rounds of chemo, liver surgery, had to go back and remove my gallbladder, and then 6 more rounds of chemo. And I did all of that, man, and didn't miss practice, nothing, man.
Oh, my God.
Now,
I remember Keller
oh,
calling
man, I remember driving back. We was playing Abilene Christian, and I'm driving back from MD Anderson to Nacogdoches, man, and I get to Humble, Texas. I had to pull on the side of the road and vomit because people don't understand chemo is poison. That's all it is. It's poison that they're putting inside your body, and it kills everything. So when I did my chemo on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, from Sunday to Thursday, you down. Like, I spent days on my knees in the bathroom holding the toilet, just vomiting, because it got to come up. You know, a lot of people don't understand that. So, man, I look back on it, man, I don't.
You feel good now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel great, man. I got to go back every 6 months and do the whole process over again. But, you know, man, I live day to day, man, and I'm 5 years. 5 years. You have to be 5 years removed. So I'm counting down until I get to that point. But it was a scary thought, man. Every 6 months you got to go back, and you don't know if they're gonna tell you it came back. You know what I mean? So I enjoy every moment, every second, man.
So this party, whatever we want to call it, I don't know what we're calling
it.
it.
Oh, no, it's a party,
tomorrow
Jeff.
night.
It is a party.
It is a party.
It's a party, man.
It is a party. It's a
party.
celebration.
It's a party
That's what
because one thing about New Orleans and me growing up here, everybody want to party. It's just we like they got people going crazy about hurricanes and tornadoes. Man, we party like
no matter what.
Hey man, let's go by grandmother's house, the whole family. We go play cards. We go play Monopoly. How many days we out of school? We go party. Even I was at Tulane, all my boys panicking when it's hurricane season. I'm like, hey man, come by my house. We go party.
But this is the difference is this party
it's for
to
a purpose.
me is different. This is to raise money for cancer.
Yes.
That's what this is. That's the difference. Wow. You partnered with David and Dana Pump.
Yep.
And you did it in order to raise cancer. We're gonna obviously donate $500 from the Field of 68.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man.
So we got to do that. I mean, again, we got to step up and help you and fight cancer, do whatever we can, and hopefully a lot of other people do the same thing. So hopefully people watching, again.
I appreciate it.
What
man.
other info do people need to know about tomorrow night?
Man, I just want everybody to come out and have fun. I feel guilty. My phone been ringing since 7 o'clock this morning when I left Atlanta, but I really and truly feel guilty because I can't let everybody in free. Like as much as I want to.
No, you can't.
Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't want to. You tell them the reason why. You shouldn't want to come in for free.
Right.
It's been. Tell them why.
But Randolph, you wouldn't believe how many people hit me for passes, and not 1, 9, 7.
Oh,
I'm saying to myself, guys, you guys, head coaches, millionaires, assistant coaches at the P5 level,
but they're used
guys
to
not starving.
They don't understand it's for a cause. I think that's what we need to get to.
And I'm not mad.
I think it's just this party. Hey, so I'm high major head coach. I'm entitled to get in because I've always gotten into this party for nothing.
I think you just got to change your wording of it. I would say instead of saying it's a party, I think you'd say almost like we're doing a fundraiser for, like, even though we're coming to enjoy ourselves at a party.
Yeah, that's what I want.
But you got to change the way you say it because if I'm coming there with these guys, I know that,
You know what?
I'm bringing my guys over here. They're ready to throw them back. They want the pass.
And guess what? I'm fine with that. I got the passes in my bag. I'm fine with that. I don't expect that from everybody. But the dudes that have it,
absolutely.
Before this cause, everybody has something. That's the difference. Everybody has something.
You got a point.
I mean, everybody don't have.
You can walk in and give $5. You give $10. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to give. Everybody's got to give 40, but give something.
Well, and I think I'll speak for our entire crew in that we're going to post this interview right after here on our social platforms because Way Mason, I speak for everybody in this room. You're an inspiration. What you just said to us about your fight every day.
Amazing.
It's absolutely amazing, and I know I've known you for like 7 minutes. Congratulations to you, and God bless you, man.
Yeah, get God's plan, man.
It sounds like your back was up against the wall, and the competitor in you came out in your fight against cancer.
Yeah, I tell you what's crazy, man. I just received a phone call from a good friend of mine, and I've been a listening ear, man, for him and his family. Delonte Hill. I don't know if y'all.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, tell you that's my man. But he lost his dad today.
He did.
To the same thing I had. And also, when I was going through my battle, we lost the Black Panther, who's the African American superhero, to colon cancer. The same thing I had. So I ask myself all the time, why me? You know what I mean? Like, why me? And that's why this is so important to me, man. Like I told you, I feel guilty, man, because I can't let everybody in, and I don't want nobody to be mad at me because I'm not asking for money. You know what it's going toward? Initially, I put all the money up myself to do it.
I know you did.
Now, thankful Danny and David came in and cut the expenses with me, but I put it up myself because this is what I wanted to do. But, I mean, it is what it is, man. It all work itself out. I know it will.
Tell people where it is, when it is, tomorrow night, Thursday night.
Yes, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, Generations Hall is actually right in the vicinity. Is 2 blocks from the convention center, and 4 blocks from the casino, so everybody can walk, and it's easy to get to, easy to find. Great space, the best venue in the city. There'd be enough room for everybody, so it'll be a good time, man. But I don't want people to lose sight of what it is. You know what I mean? I really don't. And after today, and piggybacking off what Randolph said, I can sense it turning to people thinking it's a New Orleans just party. It is not. So that's why I'm going to have these sit-downs tonight and kind of change the narrative, man. Like, we don't want to forget what it is, and guys just harassing me about passes and 6 and 7 and 8 passes for their boys and this and that. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with that. Yep. But let's understand my whole vision and what my plan was when I thought about this 3 years ago. This is what I'm doing, and I don't want to get away from that. So.
You got to make announcements during the party. You got to make announcements during the party.
My mom just told me that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
she told me the same
seriously,
thing.
So when grab the mic, get to the mic, make it a reminder. Say it.
Yeah.
Because that's fine. You give
Otherwise,
passes
people don't know.
because some won't know.
Right.
Everybody won't know. And here in that story, because the thing
I'm
is,
a prideful person now, and I don't want people to think this dude begging.
It's not because instantly when you said it, I relate to you every 6 months because my wife has had breast cancer twice. So we've gone through that. So them sleep this night, I know how that is. You sit there, you don't sleep. I get it.
Yep.
And there's nobody around. There's nobody coming here. You don't come to New Orleans with no money.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. It's different. It's
with
different
no
amount. Now you may leave broke. We just want to be broke with you getting a part of it, right? So, honoring you and celebrating you to get a part of it.
Yeah,
and everybody here, it's just a reminder through music, through signage.
Yeah.
There's ways you can do it, but I would constantly remind people why they're there.
I appreciate it. I needed this, man. This gave me another kick of confidence where I don't feel guilty. You know what I mean? Because I really feel bad. I don't want to do feel like
you
this.
just heard your story. You should not feel any ounce of guilt after what we just heard. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Nah, man, I appreciate it.
man.
Appreciate you having me, man. Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
See, those guys over there with all their winnings tonight, they're going to donate part of their winnings this weekend.
Wade Mason, thanks for the time. That was special here. Feel the 68 after dark. But we'll be on with you throughout day and night this week. We're on 12 to 2 Central Time, local time zone, tomorrow with you, then 6 to 8 again, right here from Gordon Biersch. We are right across the street from Harrah's. We're a block away from the Hilton, 200 Pordroy Street. Come see us. Stop by.
What was the name of that street?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Poydras. What did you say?
Pordroy.
Poydras. Poydras. Not whatever Fanta said.
200 Poydras Street.
There you go.
Poydra.
Right across from the Harrah's and a block away
from
the Hilton.
Long enough. Can we switch one of these at least?
Nope, not doing it. You get both of them.
Getting the freaking hives, man.
Absolute refusal.
Both of these, man.
Nah, these two teams play each other, RC. So you got to make sure
Who cares? They're blue
make
bloods.
sure they're over there.
They're all blue bloods.
Make sure they're over there on your side.
No.
All right. We talked a little bit about Duke in North Carolina. RC, we haven't spoken with you yet about this Villanova-Kansas game. Where do you side with that heading into this week?
My concern is obviously the injury to Justin Moore, right? I mean, I know you guys mentioned it before. I just think his ability, not just to score, his ability to defend and who he defends and the better defenders, offensive guys that he take. I don't know if they can overcome that. They'll be game. We know they will. We'll just have to see what happens.
All right, the injury to Moore. It's the natural question. How do they compensate for it? You talked a little bit about it. It's not as simple as one guy. How does Villanova do it?
Well, it's by committee. I think that's the biggest thing of anything. I mean, you're going to have Jermaine Samuels.
It's by no one.
Yeah.
You can't replace Justin Moore. Yeah. It's by no one. Look, Brian Antoine. You got to. Well,
I'm not even sure you got to play differently. They're just you got to have somebody step up because it's not like they're doing something way out.
You need Ryan Antoine and Chris Arcidiacono to be something that they haven't been
all year
to this point in their career. Is really what you need.
Yeah.
As Wade Mason heads out of here. Wade, thank you, man.
All right, man.
Again, Wade.
Appreciate you, Wade.
Yeah, just give it to my
give it to our assistant. His assistant.
Yeah, give it to my assistant over there. Yeah, my assistant over there.
I'd love to come by and support it.
Thank you, Wade. We'll be there.
We'll support.
Okay.
We don't need the free passes.
But
we'll pay.
Just make sure we can get in. We'll pay.
Yeah, we just want to get in the door. Wait, I just don't want to wait in line, man.
I'm going to tell y'all what. I'm giving passes away because I don't want every 5 minutes dudes calling me talking about the outside.
Something you already got rid of, huh?
I'm not doing that. Hey, I'm not doing that.
Wade Mason, again.
Thank you, Wade. Thanks, Wade.
Appreciate you.
All right, but here's the thing. If Arcidiacono and Antoine haven't shown it until now, what's going to happen in April? Like, that's the
Villanova
thing.
effect.
They
The Villanova effect
They
is gonna
just
happen.
need one guy to pick up the slack offensively and have a great game offensively. It just has to be one game. The good thing about now, you just need 2 games. And for Villanova right now, they just need one guy to step up, give them it doesn't have to be out-of-body experience, because all guys have had games all year. They just need one guy to have a really good offensive game.
Brandon Slater.
Agreed with
Yeah.
that.
And it can be
Brandon Slater. They need November Brandon Slater.
True.
November Brandon Slater needs
Or
to show up.
multiple guys play at a high level.
Right.
It doesn't have to be one guy. It just needs to be
Samuels,
multiple guys.
Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said this before. The biggest issue is the mismatch problem, right? Like, I think that what makes Villanova so dangerous, they were ahead of the curve on creating those mismatches, being switchable, giving those different lineups, giving those different looks. They can't do that when they have Eric Dixon out there. You cannot create a situation where you have David McCormick having to guard a perimeter player. You cannot do that when you don't have Justin Moore. You basically got 5 guys. And look, Chris Arcidiacono, I get it. He's a legacy. I don't think he's quite ready for this level of a game. Brian Antoine, I want him to be great. If he's going to be great, this is his moment to shine.
Right.
I just don't think he's been healthy enough. I think his body's broken.
I think if there's a guy that can do it, it might be him. I mean, people forget how talented he was coming into Villanova. I mean, it's been tough for him to gain his footing, but the talent's there. It's just a matter of him needing to have that game.
It's always tough on freshmen to come into Villanova because you're just not ready. You're not ready conditioning physically. You're not ready there. So freshmen usually don't come through the door.
He was hurt.
And get because they're not accustomed to what's being asked of them physically, so that's prone to happen.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We have learned over the last 8-9 years. Yeah, well, the tag's still on, so yeah, exactly. There you go. Do you like it?
How do I look? Do I look good?
No, I look like we're gonna win some money.
Carter.
You can only put so much money on a turd.
I think if Goodman were on set right now, he would not be having you with this.
How do I look?
He goes, "What the hell is that?" He goes, "You look awful."
Hold on.
There you go.
If you wear
Now
this,
that-
if you wear the North Carolina hat, there you go.
That hat.
I would wear this before I wear those hats. You can believe that. It's ridiculous as I look better in this. Definitely not wearing it.
You actually, you actually pull it off.
Hey.
Look like a true New Orleans.
Hey, man,
This is thrilling radio here on Sirius XM Channel 84. Here's the thing with Nova. Like, we've learned that you can't doubt Jay Wright, and I think that's why the line is what it is, because people respect what Villanova does enough to keep it close. It's hovered around 4.5. And it's the style. Like, they don't have to change the way they play because they already play a style that lends itself to frustrate their opponent.
Well, unlimited ball movement, switchability on defense. Jermaine Samuels guarding 4s, 5s, whatever he needs to. Eric Dixon's going to be a huge point in this game. David McCormick, as woefully inconsistent as he's been, Eric Dixon's still got his work cut out for him. If for no other reason than Bill Self is going to find all these creative ways to get the ball in the post, Eric Dixon cannot quit moving all night. He cannot quit moving defensively with his feet in the post, fronting, three-quarter front, whatever they decide to do. He has to be locked in all night, or else David McCormick could have one of those once every 4 games David McCormick games, right?
Well, what they're going to do is they just put him in ball screens.
Yeah.
Right? That's what Villanova does to you. They just identify the matchup they want to attack, and they're going to put you in ball screens and force David McCormick to defend on the perimeter. Yep. And they're not going to want to switch. And if they don't, guys are going to turn the corner and go inside. So
I can't take you seriously.
I walked into a flea market this morning and never thought that this hat would eventually on the head of Randolph Childress, but it has done exactly that.
If I'm going to wear a hat, I'm damn sure not wearing a Carolina or Duke hat. I can promise you that. And so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Wait till a few more drinks and you might have the whole Mardi Gras.
Hey, man,
when we make picks, you got to put a hat on.
Dagan, we always encourage our chat. Do we have anything happening in the chat tonight from any viewers out there? We'll have you check it out.
Now, when I get to the casino and I start winning in my
take a look.
I don't want to hear nothing.
Rob, we've got a bunch of guests coming on. Give our viewers a taste of who they could see this week.
Nico Medved has just texted us that he landed in New Orleans and should be coming here. Steve Forbes, there's a chance he could end up here. Bruce Pearl has said that he's going to make it here at some point. Scott Drew and associates. Chris Beard has said he's going to try to make his way over here. So Bobby Hurley. Who else we got? We should just give Goodman a mic at this point. I don't have the. Drew Val. Oh, of course, Sleepers Media is making a decision.
We'll have a few
Shocking
others.
there, yeah.
So wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a minute. So Sleepers Media, you drove?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the drive.
Well, that's a fantastic question, Mr. John Fanta. I spent 15 hours in a car with this 6'7" man right next to me. He powered
Hold
through
on.
6'5.5".
6'5.5".
Whoa. No. We do media program heights around here. 6'8" on a good day. Let's relax.
All right. The Sleepers are here. We're here from Gordon
Hold on.
Biersch.
I want to go back to the Sleepers for 1
Sure.
second. Who's the better driver out of you two?
Carter.
It's not even close.
I got Rob. I got 2 speeding tickets in the last 2 work events I came to from Field of 68. Okay. There was
Indy?
no
Wait,
chance I was
you got a
driving.
ticket in Indy?
Hey, Goodman.
Yes.
I spotted the man. Go get him.
Somebody coming across the street?
We got someone coming across. Go to the front door. Go run it.
find
Go
him.
hustle.
Goodman's
Go
so
hustle.
scared
Go
because
get
he's
him.
wondering, are they not happy with me, or is it somebody that doesn't like me as I'm going to run and get him?
I would like to make a comment, though.
Yeah.
At least these two didn't have to end up in somewhere in Alabama last night. Although you did go to Mississippi, did you not? Oh, okay.
Hey, let's
You
not-
ended up in
hold on,
Alabama?
Hold on. Let's not talk bad about the South.
We're not talking about the South. We're not talking about the South.
Okay,
But-
I feel like
but
some shade
let me tell
coming
you,
from the Southeast.
These two,
Yeah,
maybe,
see,
these
look
two
out.
maybe, but I'm not. Let me just say that I ended up in somewhere I never thought I would be in my life.
There you go.
On Monday night. That's all I
I've
gotta
been
say.
told that if we follow Randolph Childress to Harrah's, good things are going to happen this weekend.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
Do you bet with your heart or your brain?
I went with my heart with some guys and decided to use my brain. I started winning when I went with my heart. My brain. So we'll
Because
see.
you told Ashton Gibbs a couple weeks back, quote, stop picking with your heart, man.
Got to pick. Can't do it. Can't do it. There's a lot of disappointed guys over there. I'm not calling out schools and things of that nature, but we're back.
Do we have our guest?
Yeah, well, give it 1 second. Fanta, let me ask you this.
What do you
Let's talk a little bit about this ACC matchup.
Can we
'cause
take
got-
North Carolina off a pedestal real quick and put it back down here with the rest of the Blue Bloods? I'm not putting Carolina
I was
on a
about to
pedestal.
block it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I was about to do.
Take
Yeah,
that
thank
off for
you.
a minute.
Okay,
We gotta-
what-
Hey, that's
we'll get
nice.
this. We'll put this hat on our next guest that we got
Right.
coming up over here in a minute. But I can't even see you when it's up there. Can we talk about this matchup? We got 2 ACC guys up here. Can we talk a little bit about Duke Carolina?
Yeah, let's jump back in here. Duke, Carolina. We know all the national narratives of this situation, of everything that's happening with this game. First tournament meeting between the two programs. You talked a little bit about the psychological aspect of this
Right.
game, that the pressure's on everybody.
I'd actually like to hear your take on that one.
Do you
if we
think-
could get to that? So my take, RC, was the pressure now is less in the Final Four
Yes.
than it was for the last game of Coach K's
I agree.
tenure at Cameron Indoor.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you're a player and you look up in that crowd and you saw every guy literally that's played at Duke, everything you've heard about, all the stories, everything about it, it was just so much leading up to that game because it was their last game. I mean, now they're kind of used to it. Every game in the tournament has been their last game, and they're not the same team. So I think the pressure's different. Now the pressure's for everyone. You lose, you're done. So the pressure kind of levels out a little bit, I think, for everyone at this point. But I agree with you. I thought the pressure's nowhere near as much as it was for that first game.
Sure.
Let me ask you guys this: what's the key matchup for you right here? Like, you guys have both been on ACC coaching staffs, right? Let's pretend that you're on one of these coaching staffs. What is the matchup that you're looking to exploit? We talked about Jermaine Samuels, the way that he can kind of go up against big guys in Kansas and Villanova. For you two, what are you looking at? I'll go to you first, RC.
RC earlier said Mark Williams and Baycott. I'm going to take it a little bit differently because how everything gets started is through point guard play. Where's the button? We need the button.
Point guard play.
Next year, we got to get a point guard play
Yeah.
button, kind of like the easy button at Staples, point guard
Yes.
play button. Point guard play, because R.J. Davis and Jeremy Roach have both stepped up big time.
They have.
I think next year, that's without saying you obviously want to keep both of those guys, and I think they will. I
Yeah.
think they'll stick around for another year. Those are 2 top 5 point guards in the country going into next season. Where it all begins is with those two. Jeremy Roach over the last month has been terrific. R.J. Davis over the last month has been terrific. How each team gets shots, I think, is critically important. Duke's going to run some ISO sets, but Carolina, in my opinion, they need R.J. Davis to be great because he's the one who kind of starts that chain of events. He's the one who gets into the lane. He's the reason Brady Manick's been playing so much better.
So here's my take on it. Right, I'm curious what you guys have to think. I think Brady Manick is the single most important player in this game. The reason I say that is, one, he's going to be the guy tasked with stopping Paolo.
He can't.
Yeah, but if you can make life difficult for Paolo, I don't think
I'm
you can
taking
stop
this
him.
down.
I can't even finish that.
I
Yeah.
disagree with the aspect of Brady Manick being the most important player to a game with this much talent
Can
on
I
the
finish
floor.
my thought?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because he's the guy that's tasked with potentially slowing down Paolo, right? He's the guy that's tasked with potentially slowing down Paolo. On the offensive end, he's the guy that's going to create the space that will allow guys like R.J. Davis and Caleb Love to get in the lane to make something happen. Will create the space for Armando Bacot to go one-on-one against Mark Williams. You get Mark Williams into foul trouble because he's going one-on-one on the post, then he's out of the game. It completely changes what Duke's defense is without him on the floor. So I think Brady is the guy that kind of affects all of that. He's not going to be the best player on the floor, but if he's making threes and pulling Paolo out of the paint, and he's doing enough to make Paolo have a 4 for 14 night instead of a 7 for 14 night, then that he needs to be that guy.
That's the difference. I don't think he has the ability to do that because Paolo is going to attack him off the bounce and get to the rim.
Probably true.
And I think Paolo has a better chance of defending him on a perimeter than he does defending Paolo off the bounce.
Do you think Paolo's going to be intimidated by his beard?
You know what? He better step up because he was the one that called him out in the ACC tournament when they asked him, who did you want to play? Right? Don't think that's not bulletin board material right now.
Yeah,
when they were asked, what team did you want to play, he walked off the mic drop, said, I want Carolina.
I want
so
your
I'm expecting
reaction to
him
this
play.
statement. If we see the Jeremy Roach that we've seen at periods in this NCAA tournament, Duke is winning this basketball game. Because if he can negate what Carolina's hot guards are doing, the Roach that we saw close out Texas Tech, take on that role of I'm going to be the alpha guard for this team. That, to me, puts Duke in that next echelon.
Yeah, and I think Wendell Moore, whenever he was running the point guard position earlier in the season, he's more of just he's not really point guard. He's a guy who's dribbling the ball up, right? Jeremy Roach has given that team a whole different level of flexibility. I can't wait to talk to our next guest.
Oh,
Yep, you can see him in the background of the shot right now.
We got to talk about this.
I got to be in here.
Yeah.
You got to get in here.
Bring you a beer.
Yep.
There he is.
I'm wearing that.
Hey.
They tried to get me to put one of these on. I told them there's no way in hell I was wearing a Duke of Carolina hat. So
There's no way
that's not
Hey,
not
Coach,
a
I made him switch the hats up. They had him over here
Man,
first.
you might need it, man. Your chrome dome's worse
I
than
would
mine.
put it on there. I don't know. I mean, I can't live up to Randolph and how he looks in this.
No, there ain't no way that
All
Randolph
right,
Children's
welcome
wearing
to
that.
Wake Forest head coach Steve Forbes, who two Wake Forest guys over there. I don't know. This is a little
Now listen, let's talk about
Go
this.
Deeks.
That flight landing today.
Bad.
Tell them about
Tragic.
was that bad.
Okay,
Forbes just wanted to tell me
first
about
of all,
the kid throwing up on the flight.
I got a weak stomach.
Listen, thank you.
Okay, I got a weak stomach. And so
Okay.
the only thing that saved me was the mask.
Really?
The mask kind of masked
Were you
the smell.
crying? Were you like
Was I crying?
tears
It
was
coming
30
down your-
miles an hour.
Was that bad?
Dog, it was.
Seriously?
It was.
Really?
It was.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I was
Hey.
watching Peaky Blinders though, and so Peaky,
Trying to get your mind
Tommy,
off it?
Tom. Oh yeah, subtitles. Can't understand them. Yeah.
All right,
For what it's worth, Goodman's tried to put subtitles underneath me for the show.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
good point.
Anytime he came to Boston,
I mean, he probably
we
played
needed
for Peaky
subtitles.
Blinders at one point over there in Europe.
So, all right, we got an ACC guy on here.
Yeah.
One bit ACC was
Stop,
my mantra.
stop.
For most of the year.
I clowned you in one of my press
I was
conferences.
kidding.
No.
Sort of.
I
was
said that
kidding.
we got this guy out there saying one bid ACC stupid. Did I not say that?
You probably did.
I did.
You
Go
probably
look it
did.
up. Go look it up.
All I got to say is just because we had 4 Pac-12 teams in the Elite Eight,
Yeah.
3 Pac-12, 3 or 4 last year in the Elite Eight. Was it 3 or
A year
4?
ago?
3. Oregon State was in the Elite Eight this year. You know what Wayne Tinkle's?
I played him this year. I
Yeah,
know.
You know what his record is.
Well,
So
yeah,
all
I
I'm
played
saying
him.
is, okay, Hubert Davis, how do you look at it with Carolina? To me, it's a tale of two seasons, obviously, right?
Yeah.
They were, and is it because Hubert is a first-year head coach
No.
trying to figure out his team? How do you explain
I mean,
Carolina?
I think it's typical of any team, any league. He's heard me say it. I think you have the opportunity to get better or get worse as the year goes along. I think our league obviously started out slow, but I think as we got going in January and February, our league got better. And I told you this on January 1 when we got whipped pretty good down at Miami. I told you Miami was good. And you're like, I'm just telling you, they got 3 really good guards that you can't take the ball from them. You can't. Yeah. They keep their dribble better than anybody I've ever seen. I think with North Carolina, we got them in late January. You never know how. Yeah, but I think he moved RJ more to the point. I think he put Caleb more at the 2, and took off. And you know, Brady Manick is a matchup problem, and you know, Baco's Baco. And
do you feel like with Dawson Garcia leaving, in a way, it kind of helped them to some degree because they knew their roles?
Maybe, I don't know.
It helped them with that butt whooping they got in Winston-Salem.
The
butt whooping in Winston-Salem after they lost to Miami helped them.
I mean, but you're right, though. I mean, credit to them. Credit to Hubert for, you know, not blocking out the noise and continuing to coach his basketball team, and he was very positive with them. I didn't play him after that. So I didn't see him. You know, and I'm not one of those guys that watches 1,000 games. I mean, you know, but I watch them. And to me, I would say just that move right there.
RJ.
I would say. I mean, I'd just be.
I watched his growth, and I called you one after one of the games, and I saw him start to take off, and I got the next game right after that, and I'm like, he's playing with some pace. He's starting to make better decisions. You saw him grow, and I'm like, if he takes a step, they could turn it on, and I didn't see this, but they're better.
You know, and then Brady, you know, he's
been great,
good player. You know, and he against some teams he can score in and out. Now some teams he can just play out on the perimeter. You know, and now I think it's going to be a big key for him is who he defends. You know, that's going to be something that he's going to have to step up and defend.
I mean, he might have to defend Paulo.
We probably will. You know, unless they're switching or whatever, but. I mean, and then Paulo's got to not get enamored, in my opinion, of playing outside and going down there and destroying people inside. And to me, just watching the Arkansas game, they just punished Arkansas at the basket. They didn't, you know, in the AC tournament against Virginia Tech, North Carolina and Duke settled for jump shots the whole game.
Yeah.
You know, now Virginia Tech's a pretty damn good defensive team, but they just settled. Now, I didn't see them settling in the tournament.
They did.
And then, well, North Carolina, though, they made shots. They made shots. You know, I'm not sure they're a better driving team than Duke, but if Caleb's making shots like that, problem.
I think a lot goes back to what you're saying about R.J. Davis and how he's improved, and Hubert's put the ball in his hands a lot more, and all those other guys have been a big beneficiary, Brady Manick included.
And listen, you still got a guy getting a double-double as many times as his teammate did it. 20, you know, Tim Duncan.
What do you got, 29 or 30 on the year?
29. I mean, you know, and you're saying RJ, and I get it, and Leaky, and Leaky's made some shots too, but you still got that guy in the middle that's taking up, you're going to get you double-double. It's a pretty good thing to fall back on, you know, and so I think it's a great matchup, and I think it's interesting that neither one of them won under home court.
Right. What's the key here? What if you had one key, Duke Carolina, what is it?
One key? I mean, I look at it just like this. I look at it if Carolina can keep Duke from getting to the basket, they got a great chance to win. If Carolina makes shots, they got a great chance to win. You know, there's a lot of good individual matchups, but I think those are the two big keys, just simplifying it. Like, that's the way I look at it. And Carolina is really good when they make shots, but jump shots. I don't know how good they are getting to the rim, you know, and
I mean, they did in Durham.
Yeah, see, I didn't watch I didn't watch it.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Duke's defense was atrocious.
They couldn't guard RJ. Right. He just lived in the paint.
See, I didn't. I heard that, and you know, I mean, there's a lot of really good matchups. You know, like AJ Griffin. You know, could he be an X factor? But you know, Leaky's probably going to guard him. Leaky can guard him now.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
You know, and I think AJ Griffin's a great player. Like great pace. It's hard to speed him up. You know, RJ and hey, Roach has been one of the most improved players in the deal too now.
It's been great.
So those guys kind of neutralize each other, and so you're like, okay, Manick and
give me your best K Zoom story.
Oh God,
give me your best K Zoom story because you came into the league.
I didn't say anything for 2 months. I just kept my mouth shut. You know, I tell you, Kay told me I got relegated this past year to be in charge of the meetings. Right,
Zoom meetings.
I think it's because it was W. I think they go alphabetical order. It just happened to be W. So we got done, and you know, I keep it light and keep it moving, and you know, we got some things done. He called. He said, "Hey, you should run every meeting." I said, "Listen, I wasn't born yesterday. Now," I said, "By the time it gets back around to me, I'll be done." Okay, there's 15 teams in the league. Everybody's taking a chance, but He's,
Was it crazy though for you coming in as a mid-major guy who again was at Northwest Florida not too long ago? Yeah. All of a sudden,
Northwest Florida produces Division I head coaches.
They do. They definitely do. Hey, man. Tons of them.
Come on, man. I took a screenshot. Heck yeah. The first day on the.
I may never get another one of these.
Well, first of all, I didn't know how to do it. Right? I had Jonathan. I said, "Come here." When Jonathan comes in there and whatever he did, and I'm like, yeah, and I just saved it because I was like, someday I'll be like, that's all Hall of Famers on it.
Roy.
Yeah. Boeheim. Larinaga, Leonard Hamilton.
Who's Tony Bennett? Tony Bennett.
Who's the most entertaining on there? Boeheim? K's more than Boeheim? They don't go at each other a little bit?
No, they like each other.
No, I know that's why I'm saying.
I think K. I like Coach Boeheim because he just keeps it real. Yes. Pretty straightforward too. Like, no, that's not right.
Okay. He doesn't give a shit.
No, I like it. I think it's great. There's good. There's really, honestly, I like the league because there's great camaraderie. Really is truly among the coaches. There's rivalries and we play hard against each other, but I think there's a genuine amount of really good respect amongst the coaches. I feel that way. I don't know.
I'm just glad we survived today. Because I'm telling you, listen, they don't understand.
I was trying. You
guys are so soft.
No.
You wait, guys.
Jeff, I'm telling you.
I've been in turbulence, okay? This was turbulence on a big
I've been on a flight with this guy. He slept through it.
Yeah.
So today, telling you this, it was bad.
Listen.
He was only up because he was afraid the kid was going to throw up.
Tommy Shelby was doing some business in Peaky Blinders. All right? So, listen. So, we flew into Amsterdam like 3 years ago in same deal. That of all times, we fly into Amsterdam and there's a tornado. Come on now. In tornado?
Really?
Yeah. And so we went down and had to come back out of it. Oh. And my whole entire, it was at East Tennessee State, my whole entire team threw up, except for me. But then I threw up because they threw up. It was kind of like Stand By Me. You know that movie where he's reading the big guy reads?
He's too young.
Yeah. They're too young.
Remember the stewardess said, she gets on the mic and she says, I think we need to clap a standing ovation for this landing. And everybody on the plane started clapping. Yeah. That's how bad it was.
There's an ovation landing. That's a little
But here's my favorite part. This is what I love about flying. We're going to experience some bumps. Okay, what is your definition of bump? I call that turbulence.
That was bad.
I call that not fun.
That was bad.
Why is you signed an extension at Wake? There were some other schools that I don't know if they came after you, but certainly there was good. Listen, if you hadn't signed an extension, some other schools would have went after you. We know that. Why is Wake Forest the right place for you?
Because, there's a great tradition at Wake Forest. People love basketball. It's not they like football too, but it's not like it's the SEC. Okay, you can talk all that all you want about. There's some great programs in the SEC for basketball, but it's football. It dominates it. We got unbelievable facilities. It's a great place to live. John Curry hired me. I don't think you put a price tag on having a relationship with your AD. I think there's
people don't understand that.
Coaches do. I don't think they do. And then we got a new president, Dr. Wente. She came from Vanderbilt. She's from Iowa, like me. I don't know. The grass isn't always greener. And I relish the fact that when I took the job, I think a lot of people thought, well, that's not a good fit. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Why not? You can obviously win there. They won huge. Now, there's challenges, but there's challenges everywhere you work. Everybody's got those. And so the one great thing about it is you do get to sell great education, and then there's guys in there that's what they're interested in doing, plus playing in the ACC.
RC, what? You didn't even know him?
No.
Before he took over and you were on staff?
No.
What surprised you most about Forbes?
Nothing surprised me. He came through the door and this is who I am and this is what I want. So it was like, that's all you can ask. It was like, okay. And
no BS.
Yeah, it was no BS and everything he said he was going to do, he just did it. And
we didn't win enough. But
no, first year. It's hard to win when you.
Well, listen, we had a thing called.
And no one got hit worse than we did with the.
We missed 33 days.
No one.
Listen,
no one.
Never in the history.
Better damn non-conference schedule.
Oh, come on, man. So in the history of college basketball, let me ask you this: do you think there'll ever be another coach that took a job on April 30th and didn't meet his team till July 20th?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's insane.
Played 2 games on Thanksgiving weekend, then didn't play the next game till New Year's Eve.
And that was made up. Meaning,
made up.
We didn't play another game.
And we
It was
almost
supposed to be like
lost.
January 8th.
We almost lost to Catawba.
It was like we were sitting there finding teams like, who can we play? Like, Catawba, can you come up here?
33 days. And then the ACC said, okay, now, Steve, this is who you're going to open with. At Georgia Tech, at Virginia, at Duke.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man.
And that was what I thought you was going to tell the story of, because they wanted to add more ACC games in. And I remember your line going, if you want to do that, then let me keep my team from last year.
I mean, golly. I mean, it was just like,
So how hard will you hit? You really fared well through the portal.
Yeah.
And again, everybody asks you this. Everybody's like, is there some magic formula for you in the portal and getting Alondas?
I mean, just beauty in the eye of the beholder. I mean, your wife married you for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I think it just depends on what you see, right? I mean,
of course she married you.
I don't know why.
Why the hell wouldn't she? I mean, come on.
No idea. But I think that you just it's relationships too. Like you trust somebody when they tell you that
Greg
you trust.
Lansing with
I mean, you trust them. Jim Molinari was a good friend of mine, and I trust him. And he told me great things about Alondas. And I mean, I didn't sign him thinking he was going to be the AC Player of the Year. That's all him. You know what I'm saying? I knew he was a great passer. I could see that the first couple of days of practice, and I knew Jake. I thought Jake was really good.
You told me that when you got him.
I thought Jake was really good.
Lansing did.
Now, so now what happens? Well, everybody has to have an announcement now and say they're going to the NBA, and then they'll have an announcement later on about something else. And,
then they're withdrawing.
I don't know.
That's
I mean,
what it'll be.
no, I don't know. I mean, we got some guys that are going to look at it, and
Did they both Jake declared
yeah,
today?
he did. Yeah,
And Alondas?
Alondas is a senior. He's done.
He's done.
He doesn't have to. And then I got 3 seniors that can come back. That's the tough part. Isaiah Musius is a great player. He coached him, recruited him, great kid, great leader.
Brewster Academy.
Yeah, and then he got Davian Williamson and Dallas Walton, who
he
down the stretch was awesome.
Yeah, he was.
He put his name in?
Well, he's got
a senior,
but he can come back.
Okay,
so it's like
he can be done, but he can take that's
so
that's the hard part right now is I can't even figure out
who
can come back, who can't.
How do you wait on that? Do you just plan on it? I mean, do you have to have an honest conversation at some point? Like, how do you
I already
navigate
did.
that?
I had my meetings with him already. You know me, I get right to it. I mean, I think it's just communication and information. So the first step for all these kids, is the evaluation. You send it in, you get it back. That gives you a little bit better idea of where you're at, right? And then declaring for the draft, only that means that, you can do some workouts. But I think if you in a week and a half or 2 weeks, most of these guys will get these evaluations back, and they'll have to be truthful about it, like where do you really sit, and I think for the guys that I have, it's more about do I want to keep going to college? Yeah. I've been in college, I'm done. All of them got their degree. Do I want to keep going?
Right.
And I don't know if that's, I don't know. That's really their decision, and so you got to be a little patient, but you got to keep recruiting.
I got to ask you this. The scholarship number goes back down to the normal number this year. How much does that play in? I mean, it
didn't really for me because I didn't go over it.
Right.
You don't want to, do you?
I didn't want to.
More than 13's too many.
I think so too.
It's hard to play 8.
Right.
Let alone
happy anyway.
Plus, at Wake Forest, it cost
a lot of disgruntled kids.
At Wake, it cost another $1 million.
Yeah, what do you want, light beer?
Yeah, say that around there.
I
didn't even have one. I don't even have one. I think at Wake too is cost. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people not understand. Now we obviously can do it, but like those mid majors and all those guys. I mean,
East Tennessee State.
I mean, how you going to pay for 4 or 5 year scholarships?
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Then you're going to redshirt those guys. Then what? Then they got another year, and it's going to be a little upside down for maybe a couple more years, and then hopefully we'll get back.
Portal's crazier this year than it was a year.
Okay, so is there a one-time transfer rule or not?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Because now you got to balance is it a waiver?
What are you
like
talking about?
at the waiver last year, so now they still have that one-time transfer.
Because there's a lot of guys in there that have already transferred.
Right.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
And so, but here's the deal about the transfer portal. I'm not an economics guy, but supply far outweighs demand.
Yes.
Okay. So I've told you this before, and I'll say some of your 5 years, 10 years from now, it's going to be interesting when somebody does a study to see where did all these guys go? Where'd they end up? Because some of them ain't going to end up.
A lot of D3, a lot of D2s, maybe
Not having a
don't even-
scholarship.
Right, just be done.
Yeah, the grass ain't always
But I
green.
feel like
There's
so many
already
of these kids put
1,800.
their name.
There's
They
already
put-
1,800 kids in there right now.
Yeah, and there's a
18.
lot of, listen, there's probably 250 walk-ons.
Well, there's
Wow.
walk-ons.
So-
in
Yeah,
there,
Sure.
trying to go
I
down
don't
from
do
high
the
major.
walk-on thing when I do my
Yeah.
list, but again, I mean, a lot of them, if they're done anyway, a lot of the mid-majors throw their name in there, see what they get, and if they don't get anything, who cares? Right?
Yeah,
It
I mean,
doesn't matter.
I'm sure there's some. Honestly, I haven't studied. I just go in there to look for what I look for, and what, last year obviously we had we had a lot more numbers. This year I hope not. That we don't have as many, so you can kind of focus more on certain things, than just trying to. Maybe a lot of guys, that's how they got to redo their roster, like I did last year. But that's also a good thing in a way, because it doesn't take 3 or 4 years to do it. And if you can hit it, you can get good, and then
you get bad quick too.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
I mean,
you make mistakes
there's
and
no
you get the wrong
magic.
dudes.
Listen, there's no. Yeah, you got to know. You got to have a feel for it.
How many people have called you? How many coaches have called you and said to you, like, how did you do it?
What are you looking for?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the magic formula.
I think what happens, honest truth is, guys, I think more people just use that. Oh, I coached JUCO for 11 years. That helped me. I mean, I don't know.
Because you had to redo your roster. every
Yeah,
year.
but you still got to be able to pick the right guys.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I think this.
You got team guys.
This is what I think. I'm getting older. I learned how to recruit with my eyes and not my ears. Okay, and I think that a lot of younger coaches, no offense, but go to your rankings that you used to have or something, and just start recruiting them. I'm kind of from Missouri, the Show Me State. Like, I want to go out and just watch a kid play. I don't really care what he's ranked, especially in the portal, because anybody could be the leading scorer on a bad team.
Totally.
Okay, I believe that. But I also think that if you go look for kids that have been coached, okay, Lon Kruger's he's better. I mean, Cam McGusty and
You
Brady
can finish
man.
that sentence.
I mean, look at that.
You can finish the sentence.
He's
I think
forgot
you-
more basketball than I've ever
There
known.
you go.
Yeah, he has. And so, but what I'm saying is, but then there's Brady Manning, Cam McGusty, and Alanis Williams. So they've all done well.
They all won.
Right.
Greg Lansing is a good basketball coach. Okay. So's Ted Boyle.
Yeah, Tad. Yeah. That's right.
Right. So I knew.
You got guys.
I felt pretty good about what I was getting. And then I knew at the end of the summer we were not going to be 13, just because of 8 weeks of practice. You're
You
like,
told me that over and over.
I don't know where we're going to finish, but I don't think we'll be 13 because we could score the ball. And so, we had our kryptonite. We turned it over too much, and physical teams bothered us. They could really get into us. But that, every team has kryptonite.
Listen, if you need somebody to help you with your non-conference schedule
No.
next year, I'm here for it.
Listen,
I'm here for it.
let me tell you something. I know this. Like
No more. Listen,
10
I would
years-
bring you some cupcakes. We didn't
All right.
know. We didn't
10
know you were going to be on tonight.
10
Otherwise, I would have brought you some cupcakes.
10 years from now, you'll say 25 and 10. You won't say that. Oh, you played so and so and so and so. Remember that. When we won,
true.
hey,
All
when
right.
we won 30 games before I left, we played 3 9-1s, but they don't say that. They say you won 30.
30 games.
Okay,
Very
there you
true.
go.
Very
All
true.
right.
All right.
Hey,
Hey, I gotta
All right.
ask you about Goodman's
Go
pina
get your beer.
colada. Are you a pina colada guy?
No, that's so
Hell
weak.
no.
I got.
Do I look like a pina colada guy?
It's got alcohol. It's got alcohol in it. I'm good. I'm drinking beer.
That's what
I'm
he been
drinking
drinking
whatever.
today.
Whatever
I mean-
you give me.
Do I look like that kind of guy?
Go get a hurricane for
Ah,
us.
that's weak too.
Go get. What are you gonna get?
I don't know.
All right, go find it. Go
I'm gonna
find
get a
it.
cigar.
Go to Bourbon Street and find it. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, Coach.
All right,
Wake
Coach.
Forest
Have a good
coach
one. Good to
Steve Forbes
Let us
joining
know
us
the
here
hangout
in the
spot
field
now.
of 68 here at Gordon Biersch. Who's tagging in?
We got a Colorado State legend.
Oh, Nico's here.
Coming up
I
next,
need my beer. All right, I need my beer, but somebody give me a beer. All right, we got Colorado State head coach Nico Medved joining us here in a minute. Oh, you gonna give it to him? Yeah, give it to the big boy over there. He needs it. He needs it. What's up?
Somehow they suckered it in, so they suckered me into it. What's that? Okay, all right.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, we got, here he is, Colorado State head coach Nico Medved, straight off of the plane, right?
Man,
Did
you
you
guys
have a bad landing too? Randolph's
Yes.
still shaking.
mine was bad too. Like
man.
you
You guys
guys
are
are out
all
of your mind
soft.
if you don't
Hey.
think that was
You're
like
all
when you're
soft.
rolling like this.
What is this?
When you're rolling like this on the plane,
I went for a walk in between this show. You see how bad we were?
It was a little windy.
a little windy. A little windy. There's a tornado warning.
And I was telling them, like, you got queasy. Like, literally.
Randolph's been down there in Winston-Salem too long.
Man.
He's been in Fort Collins. He should be tough.
Hey.
I mean, it should be. You're
Hey.
a Northeast guy.
Hey.
I live around the corner from a farm, man. Like, how tough am I going to be?
Let me tell you what, though. I was queasy, but you got to New Orleans, and once I
feel
got
better?
that bowl of jambalaya in me quick or whatever, I'm freaking raring to go, man. Like, yeah, I
I'm
feel
ready.
better.
Well,
All right,
hey, congrats on a hell of a year, first of all. Congrats on a hell of a year.
I appreciate
Maybe
that.
my favorite thing this year, I always try to pick a new spot that I go every year that I haven't been before. Fort Collins.
It's awesome, man.
Fort
We
Collins.
didn't disappoint, did we?
No,
We told you to
hell,
come down.
Everything about it. You got the wind. The atmosphere was good. A St. Mary's team that
Great
we did
beer.
not know was
Great
as good.
beer in Fort
Yeah,
Collins.
great
Great
beer.
beer.
We had no idea that St. Mary's was going to do what they did
Absolutely.
after that game. Am I right?
No, they are. And they're just so tough as nails, and they got better and better. But, I mean, obviously that ended up being one of the biggest wins we had all year and, allowed us, I think, one of the biggest games that allowed us to get the seed we were fortunate to get in the tournament. But I tell you what, you were there for that game, and we built on that. We ended the season with 5 straight sellouts.
Did you really?
We were turning away students to get into the games at the end of the year. Just a really memorable season.
I loved not only going to Fort Collins because I thought it was such a cool city, but spending time with both David Roddy and Isaiah Stevens.
Aren't they awesome?
Man, you are so lucky. No, you are honestly. When I left there, I was like, all right, the culture here. When your best players are high character dudes like that who work like they work, I was like, all right, you know what? This is going to sustain itself. And now I know why you didn't run to some other job. And I know people, trust me, I know people reached out to him. And crazy, how about this? I don't know if he'll admit this or not right now. Crazy, he did not even take a call from another school. High major schools reached out. He did not take a call from them. What the hell is wrong with you?
Man, well, you were there.
I know. No, I'm kidding.
No, I know,
to some
but-
degree, but you could have made a lot more money.
Well, I hear, but it's not, when you've been doing this a long time, it's not just about that. And you just mentioned it. I mean, when your best players are your best people, it's the best job in the world. And all these jobs have challenges. Nothing about this is easy, man. Everything about it's hard. But when you get an opportunity to coach guys like that, that doesn't happen all the time. And so, yeah, I always tell they're better dudes than they are players. And like you got to spend some time with them. You're like, man, these guys are different. And that just shows you kind of what we had in the locker room. And this is one of those seasons, man. We never wanted it to end.
Magical.
Never wanted it to end.
How good is
You
it
guys,
feel?
hold on. You guys dug deep in your Rolodex, man, tonight. You guys are like, who the hell can we get here on Wednesday night?
Do you
Like,
know who's
Come on.
They did say they called you.
you're
You were
like,
high on the
man,
list.
like,
I
yeah.
will say you were high on the list. You were
I
high
got
on
you.
the
You're one
list.
of the first. You were one of the first names that we filled out on our list.
I
We
appreciate that.
actually like you.
Yeah, we do.
There's
You-
a lot
That's
of other
hard,
coaches
man.
we don't
That's
like.
hard. I get that. That's hard. I like you guys
Here's
too.
a true story.
Yeah.
Here's a true story. Who came in this afternoon? The first coach that we saw in New Orleans. Who was it?
Who do you think the first coach we saw?
Tim Miles.
Yes.
You got it. Look
It was
at
Miles.
that.
You know why I
With
know
his
that?
daughter.
And you know
oh
what
my
we did,
God.
Nico?
What?
He was like, "Do you want me to come on tonight?" We said, "No, we have Nico Medved on tonight. You can come tomorrow, Tim Miles."
So you guys are smart too.
Yeah.
That's
How-
funny because I
how good
talked
did
to
it
him
feel
when
to
I
be
landed
here?
or whatever, and I don't know where Miles is, but he's somewhere probably in an establishment.
Well, he's probably
somewhere.
doing something wrong with his 21-year-old daughter. He's probably getting her drunk.
So he did not tell me his daughter was here.
Yeah,
Ava's
she's
here.
here.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
Ava's here.
God bless her. God bless her.
Imagine having Tim Miles as your father.
I want your best Tim Miles story.
Wow, how much time do we have?
We got
You know,
our show
how much
goes
time
for
do we
another
have?
46 minutes. So if you could fill up those 46 minutes,
I mean, I don't know if there's one story. You just know. Have you ever met anybody like him?
No.
And if you haven't met him and spent time with him, somebody says, "Well, describe Tim Miles to me." You can't. And then when you're with him for 30 minutes, you're like, "I've never met anybody like this before." But he's got an unbelievable personality. He's unbelievably loyal. I think the one thing about him, he just loves life. I mean, all the stress and pressures that go on with this, he's never going to let that take away from being. He's the same person you would have met at Mayville State as he is now. And you can't say that about many people. I can't say that about me, but he is that kind of a guy. And what a blast I had working for him.
Field of 68 alumni.
That's what I'm saying.
He worked for me.
That's awesome.
I
wouldn't go that
I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that
I wouldn't
far,
go
but
that far.
Can I give you my favorite Tim
yeah, I
Miles
wanna hear
story?
it.
So it was 2014. I can't remember. I think it was the Dallas Final Four.
Is this at the bar there?
Just let me tell the
I'm
story.
just-
So
I'm
so
remembering.
I'm sitting in the hotel lobby. Pretty sure you were there. I know T.J. Otzelberger was there. I'm about 80% sure that Ali Fruitman-Esch was there.
All right.
I think Norlander, Jeff Borzello, you might have been there.
I was there.
There some beverages may have been consumed, so the
I
memory's a
doubt
little bit
that,
hazy.
yeah.
But there's a bunch of us sitting there at the hotel bar in one of the booths, and we see Tim Miles walking by, and you're like, Timmy, come over here, come join us. And he walks over, he's got a backpack on, and he's standing, like we're sitting at the booth like this, and he's standing right there. And I'm just kind of looking at it, I'm like, Tim, your backpack is dripping. There's water coming out of your backpack. He's like, oh, check this out. So he opens up his backpack. He's got a 12-pack of Coors Light in the backpack on ice. He doesn't have a cooler. It's not.
This is
just
a true story.
He just
Yeah.
ice
I mean, not
in
that
the
you need to be
backpack with
that
Coors
doesn't
Light in
surprise
it
me, yeah.
on his back.
Yeah.
Like, is there water running down the back of his pants? Does it look like he peed him? Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What?
I'll tell
Put
you
it
what.
in a plastic bag.
I remember being in Hawaii one years we were in it wasn't the tournament. It was the one at the university with the old Diamond Head right before it changed, and the power went out on the island like the night before the game. We're like, what are we gonna do? So somehow we walked down, and one of the local establishments was open, and we sat in the flashlight, and we drank vodka or whatever in his room, and somehow we ended up in the ocean at like 2 a.m. And anyway, what we witnessed down there is something I wouldn't want to, but we still talk about that. But does any of that surprise you?
No.
With Tim Miles? Yeah,
No.
it's what a guy, and it's great to have him back coaching.
Yeah.
It was bittersweet, beating him this year and having to coach against somebody you had that much respect for. But our league got better and the game's better with him coaching.
Was it really bittersweet though?
Not really. I can't lie. It's pretty. Winning's fun. Yeah,
Especially against Miles.
Winning's always fun. I can't lie. So, but man, I hope not. Like he was a field of 68, and then the Miller brothers. I mean, Archie spent some time with us this year, and now those guys have jobs.
We're batting 1,000.
I hope this isn't an omen for me.
who
That
else?
you know what I mean. I love being here, but I hope it's not
Only
long-term.
if it means how major.
There you go.
Speaking of your friends back at Furman, I know you watched the conference championship game. How disappointed for those guys were you?
We were having a year-end dinner at our show before we went to the conference tournament. Literally, our whole team and donors watched the end of that game. I was just sick to my stomach.
I know you were.
I know how much that meant to that school and to Bob and those players, some of them who I knew and was there, that they put everything into that. And just to see that ending, especially for them, it was heart-wrenching.
And I asked you because they raved about you even in that moment. Like coming up to the championship game, they were talking about you and your impact on that group. And
I had nothing to do with that group.
No,
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
just what
You
Bob
helped build it.
Bob was saying that. He was just saying that,
Yeah.
for him to get his start there and continue to add on to what you had started. And then to get to that moment, I thought they had it.
I did too. I was ready to celebrate with those guys and all the people in that job. How long it's been since they've been there and stuff. But they're going to be back. I mean, he's done an unbelievable job there, and I think they got as good a shot as. And eventually, they're going to break through. But that was hard to watch.
It was tough.
That was hard to watch.
David Roddy announced today that he's going to put his name in, go through the process, and see where he stands draft-wise.
Formality. I think it's great for him, and just watching how far he's come in the last 3 years, and he'll have a decision to make, I think, and I think he the way I look at it, it's going to be great for him no matter
Either
what,
way.
and it's great for us. If somebody comes into our program and develops into a first-round NBA draft choice, is playing in that league, I think that's awesome. But no, he's got a decision to make. He's going to go through the process. He's going to start working out in Phoenix here and get ready for working out for teams in the combine, and we'll see what happens. So, but I know
Has he told you? Because listen, it's changed now, right? 10 years ago, well, when Randolph was coming out, it was you had to be a lottery pick. 25 years ago. How many years ago, Randolph?
You look like you could still play, man.
We're about the same age,
Don't listen to
RC.
this. Don't listen to
RC, you're about the same age.
You know how these guys are.
I hear you.
But listen, it's changed so much. You had to be a lottery pick, or else you didn't come out early.
Yeah.
Then you had to be a first rounder. Now a lot of guys, they'll leave if they can get a two-way.
Right.
Have you talked to David Roddy about what it would take for him to leave Colorado State?
I think as you know, you've met her. He's a smart kid. He understands that. I know he loves it in Fort Collins. Yeah. I mean, I think he would be really excited about coming back, but he owes it to himself. I think you're right. Like, you've got the guaranteed contracts, you've got two ways, and then every once in a while, a team is giving some guaranteed money to some second rounders.
A lot of them do now.
So I think it really just kind of depends where it fell. But he's going to get better from the process no matter what. And what's cool about, I think, now, and even that, and even some of the NIL stuff and the way kids feel, he's got a great option either way. So for him, he's going to be fine, and whether that starts now or a year from now. But the way I look at it, when you start building a program, you hope that you have guys. That's what you want. To have guys in this position.
That means you're succeeding.
I do got a bone to pick with you, though, Coach. You screwed my bracket up, dude.
You screwed my own up, man. I screwed my own up.
I was betting on you. We had to bet Rivers at the casino, and
man,
that was the only one I lost, man.
You know what? It was hot. Oh, no, my bad, man.
I was hot.
I'll buy you a drink or something.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
I'll forgive me. The thing about the NCAA tournament is every game's Game 7. And it's part of what makes it the best event in sports. But, anybody can be anybody on a given night. It's not a best-of-5 series, and that's what makes it so special. But, Michigan, I started watching them on film, and I'm like, man, they're so talented. They do such a great job. Some nights they look like the best team in the Big Ten. Other nights they weren't. And I thought we played well.
You did.
But they played really well, too. And that didn't surprise me. They beat Tennessee a couple nights later. But that's what makes the NCAA tournament great. But hopefully for our guys, it's just, hey, man, hungry to get back there, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
So
I need a Final Four prediction out of you.
I'm going to go Duke. I had Villanova before, the injury. But I got another prediction. I think Villanova is going to play their tail off on Saturday. And it wouldn't surprise me if they beat Kansas. And everyone might think, Kansas is great too, but a program like Jay has there and the way those guys play, they are going to rally. And they're going to listen to everybody telling them they don't have a chance. And they're going to play their tail off against Kansas. That's my prediction.
They're going to hang around.
He didn't say they were going to win, Rob. He said they were going to play their tail off.
Everybody says that. Nobody thinks they're going to get blown out, Rob.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're going to keep it close, right? They don't make mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. They don't miss free throws. They're not going to miss defensive assignments. They don't give up offensive rebounds.
They're not going to beat themselves.
If they can make it a half-court game, like they do, take care of the ball grinder, they've got a chance. But
it's going to be.
I'm really not putting myself out there to say that they have a chance to win.
Well, here's the
but
thing,
that's not going to surprise me.
It's going to be like a 3-point game in the final 4 minutes. And if it's a 3-point game in the final 4 minutes, all you need is Colin Gillespie to go Providence mode. All you need him to do is have 2 or 3 possessions where he hits a big 3.
2 other guys, or some guy play a great game offensively, or 2 guys lift their offensive game.
But Slater and Daniel.
Yes.
Like
but how
2 of them that should be.
How good is this Final Four?
Oh,
yes.
You know what I mean? When you look at it and you look at how well
how
Kansas
good is it to be
playing,
back
it's
at
awesome.
a Final Four?
Especially in this city
Right?
like this right now. It's incredible.
He gave me a hug when he saw me.
Yeah, I mean,
He gave me a hug.
It took me a second to
so
realize
happy
who it
to
was.
see
I
you.
ain't having Rob like
All right, well, we're gonna let you get to dinner. We know
you,
Aaron brought you over here, and you guys got to get
take care
going
of
to
you
a good
guys.
spot.
We haven't even decided yet,
No?
man. But
Just
we're
got
just
in,
going to kind of
just go.
walk that way. You know what I mean? And then
You'll find something.
It's awesome.
It's not
going to
be hard here. All right, listen.
Appreciate you guys.
Spend
Thank
that
you
bonus
for stopping
spot.
by. Thank you.
Hey, Nico,
It's
the
awesome
craps
what you guys
table
are
is
doing
right
here.
over there. It's right across the street. It's right over there.
I'm good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you,
Good luck
man.
to you guys.
Take it easy, man. Great. Good seeing you. Yeah. You're in.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Hey, hold on. Just so we're
Nico, John, yeah, John, how are you, man?
switch them
You
up.
carry this deal.
No.
Go ahead, I'm going to.
I was a bad left guard.
RC, I'll jump in.
Hey, you coming over here?
Sean Paul, right here.
All right. Here we
ahead,
go.
John.
We got Sean Paul.
There we go.
Field of 68 after dark from New Orleans. Gordon Biersch rolling on. Stop and see us. We just had Steve Forbes, Nico Medved. Thanks to the coaches for joining us. Sean Paul, welcome to New Orleans. Fresh cut. You look ready.
Always.
What number flight was this for you in your life today?
This was my third. I've
Number
taken
3.
2 long ones though. I've been to New Orleans and
So,
then I've
talking
been,
to the mic, Sean.
Yeah, I've been to New Orleans now and then I've been to Philadelphia. So I've been to 2 long ones. Yeah, I'm not tall enough.
Right.
A bit of an issue.
I mean, come on, set design. Come on, set design. All right. What are your thoughts on this Final Four, Sean Paul?
I mean, a lot of people question how entertaining it'll be because it's 4 blue bloods, but at the same time, I think it'll be a good game because you get North Carolina and Duke in Coach K's final ride, and it'll be forever bragging rights for North Carolina if they're able to beat Duke in their in Coach K's final game. But the Villanova-Kansas game to me is the most interesting because they're
Really?
Yeah, because
Clearly not an ACC guy.
yeah,
Clearly not.
I think Villanova has a good chance to win, and I think they probably do win in my mind.
Wow.
Because I compare this to the Auburn game from a few years ago when Chuma Okeke got hurt, and then Auburn went and beat Kentucky. and then advance to the Final Four.
I like that. Shawnee P's bringing heat.
When you have a culture like Villanova has, these guys will band together. They're not going to fade away from the pressure. They're going to use this to band together. And if you get something from Brian Antoine, if you get something from maybe a few minutes from Trey Patterson, I think Villanova wins.
Yeah, and I think that we've talked about it a couple of times. Brandon Slater was Rob's key, and you're so right, Rob, because Slater's lack of confidence on the offensive end showed against Houston. Fortunately for him, Houston scored 44 points and could not make a three for their life. You can't have a position on the floor on Saturday night against Kansas that's worthless in this game when you're down to essentially 5 players.
Yeah.
I feel like another thing, too, that Villanova's never going to put themselves in position to get blown out because, one, they don't turn it over, and that's not going to change. Colin Gillespie's still walking this planet. And then another thing, they hit free throws. So they do those two things. They manage on the boards. They're going to be able to compete. This Villanova team, I'm giving any Villanova team with Colin Gillespie a chance because we saw what he could do at Providence in an unbelievable game.
What Tio just said right there, guys, he said hammer Villanova 4.5.
You are.
Break out the hammer.
I would too.
4.5. I'm going to be heavier on the under than I am going to be on Villanova plus 4.5.
And Ochai hasn't been great either, though.
No, he hasn't. I got a question for you, though, Sean Paul. What we do, our tradition on this After Dark show, is to hit you with he's our mid-major guru, okay? Sean Paul hosts the mid-major top 25, right? Mid is nothing but a number. And we hit him with random mid-major players and see if he can name them. Carter, Greg, do you have some names for us?
On the spot right here.
Can we get to the producer cam?
Started off easy for you. Bryson Mazzone.
That's USC Upstate.
Hey, for what it's worth, I would have gotten that one too. That's a good player.
Okay,
hold on.
We're playing who he played for mid-major edition.
State in a great year.
I would have never gotten him. Yeah, also, exactly. Dagan and I, what is continue? Next player.
What about Dalen Kuntz?
Oh, that's Northern Colorado. Come on now.
Are these supposed to be easy? They seem kind of hard to me.
He averaged 20 a game. Come on.
All right, I got one. Bryant Randleman.
Oh, Charleston Southern.
No. High Point. Come on.
Everybody
Sean.
gets a shot.
Come on,
Everybody gets a shot.
Come on, Sean. All right, give us two more.
All right.
Hey, he got the right demographic.
Devondre Perry.
Albany.
Wow. Wow.
Greg, you got one more?
I don't have anything.
Carter, you got any more?
Don't screw with me and give me a
I'm literally on
walk-on
Ken
again.
Palm right now in
That
the
was
300s,
unfair.
basically.
All right, I'm going to give you one more. I'm going into the 300s on Ken Palm for this one.
Oh, my.
All right, 300s on Ken Palm.
Chicago State. Come on. Let's go.
Here we go.
That's a good team to play.
I've heard more about Chicago State basketball this season than I have in the previous 25 years of life.
Anybody want to know about Chicago State?
Oh, man.
Who was it I was talking about?
It's in the Summit League, isn't it? No?
Bert Hedstrom, he is, I don't even know what league the school's in. Yeah, it's in the Summit League.
Wait a minute. You can't ask the question and not know who he played
St.
for.
Thomas?
Hey!
Wait, hold on. No, I got.
No way. No way.
Carter's got one.
Here's the kicker.
One more. Kobe
about that.
Jeffries.
Who?
Kobe Jeffries.
I don't know who that is.
Let's go.
Is it a walk?
Here's the kicker about that one.
Who is St. Thomas?
Where does he play for?
Tennessee Martin.
This is now going to be a segment.
I watched 0 UT Martin games this year.
Really?
So, yeah.
How dare you?
How many St. Thomas games
tell.
you watch?
Actually, a few.
UT Martin, not a friend of Sean Paul.
All right, can we get into let's talk a little bit about North Carolina and Duke, and then we can get into some questions to get into the afters a little bit, and then we can get out of here and we can go hit Bourbon Street.
Yes, sir.
Can I just tell you guys one thing really quick? John Fanta, that man right there, the legend John Fanta, has never had a Sazerac in his life.
No, I've never had it. That's going to change tonight. Sazeracs are happening.
What's a Sazerac?
I've been told it's the best cocktail in this area. Well, T.O. hasn't had one, so now I'm excused.
I don't know. It's something Doster drinks, so it's probably got a ton of fruit in it.
Have you had one, Rob?
Oh, you mean the same guy who puts ketchup on a cinnamon raisin bagel?
What happened in the back?
We're talking about the guy that puts ketchup on a cinnamon raisin bagel. Right?
That's a good point.
I don't.
So, you know what? We have not had a chance to talk about that, and we didn't on the DTF podcast for a reason. That is absolutely inexcusable that you associate a cinnamon raisin bagel with ketchup. Are you crazy?
Okay. That is insane.
I was
knocking out all the talent.
One, I was misquoted. Dagan Hughes took me completely out of context.
You have a
Misquoted.
journalism degree from Seton Hall.
Misquoted. I said, if you had a breakfast sandwich, a bacon, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel, that if you dip that in ketchup or you put ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel,
It'd be gross.
It was acceptable.
I would do that.
And he turned it into putting ketchup instead of cream cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel.
Terrible. Awful. Forget that. You can't put ketchup with a cinnamon raisin bagel.
Yes.
The two flavors don't mesh. It'd be like putting me with
it?
Jennifer Aniston.
Have you ever tried it?
You are with Jennifer Aniston.
No, I'm with somebody better than Jennifer Aniston.
Shout out to Victoria Rizzo.
Shout
out to Victoria Rizzo.
Here we go. I'm gonna turn to the right here. Let's get back to North Carolina Duke. Let's get back to North Carolina Duke. All right, Rob. You've talked about Brady Manick. Let's zone in again on the matchup inside. Armando Bacot and Mark Williams. These two guys are.
He's zoned in.
Well, they're playing like monsters.
They are.
Thoughts on who you give the edge to?
I think that's going to be one of the most important factors in this game and who wins. I think that if North Carolina is able to establish Armando Bacot inside, then that's how you get Mark Williams in foul trouble. And T.O., we've talked about this plenty.
Yep.
You get Mark Williams in foul trouble, you get him out of the game, you change what Duke can be defensively. When Duke is not great defensively, they're not good enough on the offensive end of the floor to be able to win at the level that you need them to be able to win. And look, bottom line, this North Carolina team, they're on fire right now.
Yep, that's right. And this Duke-North Carolina game, strength versus length. That's what it is. It's Armando Bacot, so strong on the inside against Mark Williams, who's got the longest arms I've ever seen in my life. I think it's like a 7'5", 7'6" wingspan. Sean Paul, vouch for me.
I think it's 7'7".
There it is, 7'7". I undersold it.
If I'm wrong, then I was close.
I undersold it, America. But here's the thing, too. Strength versus length. It's going to come down to who gets into foul trouble first. And I think that has a lot to do with it. The problem is, with Duke, if he gets out of the game, Theo John's been fine. He's been serviceable. He brings an edge to that team off the bench, an occasional energy burst, right? But the big thing is they don't have that rim protection because Duke's not a big, heavy help team like a Villanova, like a Kent. They're not a heavy help team. They rely on that rim protection there from Mark Williams. That's going to be the big thing. He has to stay in the game. He has to play north of 25 minutes.
Derek St. Hilaire.
Oh, come on, New Orleans. Come on.
Hey, there it is. In the
That's too easy.
He's a privateer. Come on. But, I think A.J. Griffin's the key here for Duke because you look at him, he had 18 points the other day. I didn't notice he led Duke in scoring the other day, but he had a big game. I think if he has a big game here, I think that gives Duke the edge.
And shot making's contagious. I think that's one thing
that's
you're playing.
true.
One guy hits a shot, then another feels a little bit more confident. He took the lid off the basket whenever he got
it's not just that. He's the one guy that you have to chase off the three-point.
Yes.
Like if Jeremy Roach is going to shoot threes, like you kind of like, all right, look, if he's going to make them, we kind of have to live with that, right? Trevor Keels, if he's going to make threes, you're kind of like, look, we don't want him playing bully ball. We don't want him getting to the rim. We got to live with it. Wendell Moore, if he's making his threes, look, you know what? You don't want him getting around a corner, getting downhill, being able to make plays when he gets in the paint. If Paolo's making threes, like whatever,
well,
he
screw
shoots
it.
like 32%.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
A.J. Griffin, you got to run him off the line, and that right there is what creates the space for Paolo when you get him in those mid-post ISOs. It creates the space for Mark Williams around the rim. It creates the space for Trevor Keels to get off that ball screen, get into the lane, and find Mark Williams on those lobs. Like that one lights-out shooter, that one Terrence Oglesby wannabe.
See, they just can't do that. Now you're just acting crazy.
When is it officially Terrence Oglesby's story time?
We've had that
later this week. We have a lot of show.
No, we're doing it tonight. We're dropping it tonight. It's happening tonight.
What, Terrence Oglesby's like? Am I telling the story? Or
no,
I
told you.
All right. Well, hold on 1 second. If you go on Torvik, can you look up what Jeremy Roach's three-point shooting percentage is in the last month?
Jeremy Roach from three last month.
Pull out your Torvik back there, Greg. Pull your Torvik out.
Pull the Torvik out.
But do it
Torvik researcher Greg Waddell.
Hey, do it classy. Don't get out
we
of
love
Torvik.
Bart Torvik. Hey,
you notice we don't ask Carter to whip out his Torvik.
Well,
right?
Look, simply put here, when Duke hits a three, it feels like more than that.
It does, yeah.
And they made 2 elite defenses look pretty mediocre. I mean, they
That's
didn't miss in the
great
final
point,
stretch
John.
against Texas
Wait,
Tech.
you want last month?
And Arkansas looked pretty mediocre, too.
Yeah, Jeremy Roach of the last month.
Over the course of the last month, I want to know Jeremy Roach's three-point percentage.
You sure?
No, not if it doesn't go with my argument.
32% from 3.
Here's the thing. I think he's been better. Over the past month.
He's been way better.
But,
He's been way better.
And he's hit big
T.O.,
ones.
that reflects the argument, though, that just him doing anything from the perimeter gives Duke a different edge.
They just need him to exist.
Yeah, because they're going to defend.
Yep. Nah, I don't know.
With Mark Williams
on the
floor,
interior, they're
yes.
going to.
With Mark Williams
on the interior,
floor,
they're going
yes.
to.
With
Yeah,
Mark
now
Williams on the
they got to
floor.
worry about the perimeter against
Here's-
Carolina.
Here's my thing about Duke, right? They're always going to end up being the most talented team. No matter what happens, they're going to be the most talented team on the floor. It was like that all season long. It's going to be like that throughout the Final Four. They have 5 first-rounders, right? It is what it is. When they show up and they're engaged and they're not playing intimidated by the moment, right? If they're not playing, I don't want to say scared, but it's almost when they're not playing not to lose, then I don't know how you beat them. That's what we saw in the last 5 minutes against Michigan State. That's what we saw when they didn't miss a shot in the last 8 minutes and 55 seconds against the number one defense in the country, Texas Tech. That's what we saw for 40 minutes against Arkansas when they basically ran one of the hottest teams in the country off the floor. And I fully expect that that's what we're going to see against North Carolina. Like, they have a point to prove.
Oh,
They
revenge,
man.
man.
They have a point to prove.
I think that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it now.
Here's the way I look at it. Either one, you have a North Carolina pulling an old school Georgetown over Syracuse, Manley Fieldhouse is closed. Coach K's career is over. They're walking off the floor saying,
Not over. Over.
Over.
OVA.
That's it. Sayonara. You thought the win at Cameron Indoor was Carolina fans' favorite win. This would supersede it.
Oh, no question.
Or you have revenge is a dish best served with a beignet in New Orleans.
I like that.
That's what you've got going on here. And you can't tell me right now that those Duke players aren't thinking about getting revenge on Carolina. The question is not the want. The question is, do they allow that to become too big of a thing in this game?
Yep.
I just don't know that Duke is if they're playing well like they have been, there's no way you can convince me that Carolina can beat a Duke on their best game.
There's one way. One way in my mind.
Mark Williams gets in foul trouble.
No, Caleb Love has to go full second half Caleb Love. He has to go full second half wearing the Carolina blue, what are they called? Pantone 11s?
It wasn't a Cool Grace.
No.
It was,
Sorry, Fatone was it.
Yeah.
Fatone? I didn't like Joey Fatone? No, Pantone. Pantone.
It's Pantone.
Like a color Pantone.
Get your emphasis on the right syllable, Elliot.
What is being? What are we talking about right now?
He switched shoes at halftime of the Sweet 16 game to wear the Carolina blue Jordan 11s. He had 27 in the second half. If that Caleb Love shows up, they can beat anybody. They might be able to beat some of these tanking NBA teams, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that.
Did you see the Trailblazers?
Look at some of the lineups that they're rolling out here.
The Trailblazers.
Look at some of the
It's a good thing, Goodman.
It's a good thing. No, look at some of these lineups. It's like Keon Johnson is the best player on the floor. Keon Johnson wasn't all SEC last year, right?
Hold on.
Look, let me bring out this lineup.
No, it's not Sean. It's oh yeah. So Rob is arguing that Carolina would have a shot to beat some tanking NBA teams.
We're on the verge of losing all credibility at the Field of 68 with this nonsense.
Can we get him out of here now?
That's not what I said.
All right.
This is what I said.
I'm tagging you out. Tagging you out.
Wait, hold on, Rob. Before you go, can I tell my T.O. story?
Okay, go ahead and tell your
Let me
T.O.
tell
story.
you.
Producer Dagan is saying that.
Did he not say that?
All right, fine.
You're out.
Good. I'll go drink my beer and pee.
Dagan's saying you're gone.
Do we have it hotkeyed up here for this show for the next 4 days? Will you let me finish? That was the fiercest response I've gotten all season on the show. I thought, where is that?
He really said Carolina? Carolina?
Off right
What
now.
is this? What the hell happened? I leave for 10 minutes.
Here we go.
Hey, we have 15 minutes left in the show. We need your best questions in the chat because the best question we get is going to get a $50 top golf.
Ooh, I like question I have is,
best question in the chat is going to get a $50
is Rob
top
Doster
golf gift
sober?
card. Leave
That's
your
my
Twitter
question.
or Instagram handle in the question in the chat.
Good.
I think he
Okay.
is, to be fair.
All right, let's return some
Yeah,
sanity here.
come on.
I'm going to ask you right now. Who do you have, Carolina or Duke?
I'm going Duke. I mean, you have so many different options. Like when you have those 5 guys that can score the
Do we
basketball.
need a phone book for you?
Yeah, you might.
We might need a phone book tomorrow.
My
might.
posture's all the way
Wait a
up.
minute.
This is.
Dagan,
We'll hit
can we
the
get a
store.
phone
We'll
book
get
for
you the
tomorrow?
store. Sean, we'll get you. a
Dagan,
little
do
bit.
those
Bad.
exist?
I
Do those
almost feel
exist?
bad.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like, you know,
Wait, let's hold on. Let's
Get
hold
to
on.
the
I'm with Vance
microphone.
on this.
I wasn't
A
blessed
phone
with
book.
height.
When's the
A
last
phone
time
book.
anybody's opened a phone book?
my age here.
Phone
Okay.
books don't exist, Dad.
What do you want to put?
Uncle
Booster
Jeff,
seat?
phone books don't
You
exist.
want a booster seat?
Yeah.
I can
I
just go to the
saw
booster
there's
seat.
a few by the door. We maybe want to
All
pick
right,
one
we'll
up.
get one for you tomorrow. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the mic.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what a phone book is?
Yes. They're yellow. I got it.
I mean, I'm telling you.
I mean, I think we're looking at a Duke victory here. You have too many scoring options. You have Trevor Keels or Jeremy Roche who can play a solid role. You have A.J. Griffin who can score the basketball. And Paulo Banchero, there's no better player in the tournament than him. He's the most talented player in the country, and he's going to have a big game against North Carolina. He's just such a dynamic player.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Duke too. I just think the revenge factor, to me, adds another layer to this, right? I think Duke's a better team anyway. And then you add, again, just that taste in their mouths they've had for the last few weeks. And I think these guys are going to be salivating to see Carolina again and ready to kick their ass.
I have Duke for all the reasons these guys said, and the fact that there's so many scoring options with the emergence of Wendell Moore playing more assertively, looking to the basket more, with Jeremy Roach being terrific, Paulo Banchero being awesome.
Jeff, I've got Duke as well, and that almost makes me feel bad because a lot of us are on Duke. Like
The revenge factor is a big
It's
thing,
huge.
too. It's huge.
I want to ask you this, though, because you're on the inside with coaches and faces and personalities all throughout the sport. And Mark Emmert's going to address people tomorrow at a press conference.
Yeah, I can't wait to ask him a question.
What do you want to know from Mark Emmert?
What beach he was on this past year. What beach? Because he was nowhere to be found. And I'm literally, I think I'm going to ask him that. Maybe not what beach he was on, but where he's been. Because when the sport needs him the most. You know, when I was there March 5th, I asked Coach K the question. And I said, like, when's the last time you spoke to Mark Emmert? Because I had asked him this about 5 years ago. And he said, we really don't have any relationship. And he said it again. He said, like, no, Mark Emmert's never called me to get my thoughts on college basketball.
So the figurehead in this
the most
particular
successful,
sport, the most successful coach
of all time, maybe.
Of all time, maybe. He's right
How
there
can
with
you
Wooden.
not? How can you?
How
not
do you
call
not
him?
have a relationship with somebody like
That's
that?
insane.
It's stupid.
Completely
I mean,
disconnected from what he's
At
doing.
least in his
which is the
last year,
scary
give him a
part.
call and say good luck on your final year. You've given a lot to our
I don't know.
association.
I mean, maybe he has by now. I don't know if he
What
has
do you
the
think
last
Kay
few
does
weeks.
after this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kay, again, he's still got his plush office, above the court there, and he'll be around. I think he'll be around to make sure that the transition for John Shire goes smoothly, but I don't think he'll be like Jim Calhoun was with Kevin Ollie, and Jim Calhoun was at every practice. I think he'll be somewhere in between, like a Kevin Ollie and a Lute Olson when Sean Miller took over, who completely left him alone. But again, Sean Miller wasn't his guy. So, this is Kay's guy. Obviously, he wants him to do well. The question I have for all these dudes when they retire is like, do you want him to do well, but do you want him to do too well?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Do you want him to be better than you were? Like Coach K, if he doesn't win this, oh, by the way, he's only won one title in the last 10 years.
Yep.
He's only won one ACC regular season title in the last 10 years. Like, over the last 10 years, you could look at it, and if he doesn't win this whole thing this year and say, okay, John Shire could be better over the first 10 years of the John Shire career, could be more successful than the last 10 years of the Coach K tenure.
It's impossible for me to answer this question, just considering I'm not a Duke guy and not as plugged in as him. But I think there's a lot to be said for being that middle guy of like, hey, you do have some influence, obviously, because you're Coach K. But John Shire, he's only been under one coach. He's only played for one college coach. He's going to do a lot of things very similar to the way Coach K did them. He's just a little bit younger, which I think is going to be interesting in and of itself.
I want to ask you about this, Sean Paul, because it spirals into another intersection of discussion here. And by the way, we're live from Gordon Biersch here in New Orleans. We're right across the way from Harrah's. We are right down the street from the
come
Hill.
over, say hello.
Please say
hello tonight. We're on tomorrow, 12 to 2, 6 to 8. So come in, and Sean Paul might buy you a beer. He might actually have a chugging contest with you.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, totally. No, yep.
And you might just
do that.
No.
No. All right. Well,
we
No
don't
chance.
advocate for illegal behavior here on the field.
especially for minors. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
John.
exactly.
Strike that.
And if you come by, you might just
He
meet
had a Dr. Pepper earlier, so he
did.
was
Yeah,
letting
yeah.
loose
See,
a
there
little
you
bit. He was
go.
letting loose a little bit.
Wow.
Did you have any Cheez-Its?
I didn't today,
We'll get some.
but yeah, you'll see some. Yeah.
And by the way, you might even meet a coach. We've got coaching guests on. We've already had Steve Forbes, Nico Medved.
Nico's never leaving.
Nico's just
No, he's
hanging
here.
around, so come and
He's
hang
never
out with
leaving.
everybody here.
Go get some dinner, will you? All right. I mean, Aaron's hungry.
All right. Sean, you cover. You're in on a lot of mid-major programs, and one of the traits this year in the NCAA tournament, Mountain West goes 0-4 in the tournament. So I'll get your guys' thoughts after this. I want to ask you, what's your take on the tournament and how much it defines what a league is?
It's tough because obviously the Mountain West hasn't had a tournament win since Nevada won one a couple of years ago. They've had some good teams. They just haven't been able to get it done, but they've had multiple bids. You got 4 bids this year. Then you look at a league like the WCC. They're usually a good multi-bid league. But when you look at some of the one-bid leagues like an OVC usually or Missouri Valley, I think there's less pressure on them because they're not expected to do anything. But there's a lot more pressure on a Mountain West because you add those 4 teams in. Colorado State had a big lead in the first half and blew it. San Diego State should have won that game against Creighton. I mean, there's no way that they should end up losing that basketball game, and they did.
So what we're saying is the ACC should have had more bids and the Mountain West should have had less.
here
Is
we
what
go.
we're saying right now? Is that what we're?
Who would have gotten in Clemson?
No.
Oh, look at that.
That hurts.
Love it, Sean.
Sean
Good job,
Paul
Sean.
coming in with it.
That's
Hey,
good, boy.
Hey, cut him off from that
That's
Dr. Pepper.
right there.
Cut him off from his Dr.
All right,
Pepper.
let's
we got
go
to
to some
shut him
questions.
down.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
go
get
to
to
some
some questions.
questions.
But you know what?
Let's go to some
But to wrap the point,
Yeah.
you've said this. You win one tournament game or you get your team to the tournament, you're getting a job.
Well, and I would say this. Nothing was illustrated more than John Calipari and Hubert Davis this year. Okay, John Calipari had an incredible regular season. They're in the mix, and now everybody's questioning whether he should be the coach. Not everybody, but enough people are questioning, should he be the coach of Kentucky because they lose in the first round. Hubert Davis has a absolutely underachieving regular season up until early March.
Right.
And now everybody is saying that Hubert Davis is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
So,
That's a great point. Let's get to questions. Dagan Hughes, what do you have?
Let's do it. So Fat J11 in the chat wants to know who is the biggest X factor of the entire weekend for any 4 teams.
Wow.
Biggest X factor.
Of the entire
Final Four, yeah.
I guess I would probably go Remy Martin.
I would too.
I think Kansas can win this whole thing with a good Remy Martin. A really good Remy Martin. And you just don't know. Again, he's made contested shots lately. He can just as easily go on one of his, 0 for 10 type performances.
I'm going to go Jeremy Roach. I think
good one.
he's been terrific over the course of this tournament. He's hit down timely shots. We talked about his 32% from 3. Thank you over the last month. Waddell to completely go against my point. But, no, I think he's a big X factor for this Duke team because he's a guy that can get other guys shots. And I'm not sure how many guys that Duke has like that. He could be that person.
I'm going to go with Brian Antoine. This was a guy that was a top 20 recruit. I think he is an X factor. I don't think he's going to be the reason they necessarily win, but X factor, I'm looking at it as like a sleeper almost. And I think Brian Antoine has something to prove. I mean, this is a guy that was once seen as a first-round pick potentially, and he's kind of fallen off the face of the earth because of injuries. This is a time where Brian Antoine can resurface his stock and come back on the radar.
Is Jay Wright going to just say, hey, I'm going to throw Brian
Well,
Antoine in there?
If you haven't proven it thus
That's
far,
true.
what makes you think
That's
you're going to
true.
prove it in
But-
April?
But one thing worth noting, Villanova, they were without Justin Moore for one game this year, and they beat UConn.
Arch Diacono hit 3 threes.
Yeah,
Where's
so
Dawson?
maybe
Let's make
it's
sure
Archie
Dawson heard
Diacono.
Let me tell you, here's my take on this, and I've been asked the question all week, and I'll be brief here. Jay Wright's not going away from what got him here. These 5 starters are going to play at least 32 minutes in this game. People don't want to hear it that way, but it's true. Caleb Love would be my X factor.
That's
He
a good
plays
one.
his best. Carolina's going to win it all.
I like it.
Question 2.
All right, this one non-basketball related. This is Field of 68 being in New Orleans related, and I'm going to modify the question a little bit. Brandon wants to know who is most likely to end up in the Slammer this week from our group.
Who's going to end up
in the slammer?
In the slammer, in
That
jail.
is a
Of
great
all
question.
everybody, and I can tell you, I know it is not going to be
Who's
Sean
most likely to
Paul.
end up in the slammer?
I can tell you it's not going to be Sean
On
Paul.
our crew.
Out of us?
Out of us.
Out of all
right
of
here.
us?
Yeah.
Carter.
I modified the question.
Carter Elliott.
That's-
Carter
I don't
Elliott.
think it's going to be
Probably
Carter. No. I don't
Oh,
think it's gonna be
lightning.
Carter.
Well, actually, hold on. I have a question.
Here we go.
No, keep it on the producer cam.
Okay, stay in here.
Who's showing up this weekend? Is it Greg Waddell or is it G Wizzy?
They're one and the same.
No, they're
It's
not.
like no, they are.
No, they are not. Can I tell my TO story now?
Yeah. We're ready.
Okay, so
Actually, hold on. I have the best question. Do you want to know who has it?
yeah, the best question. Yeah, do it.
Yes, Fat J11 in the YouTube chat. If you're still here, DM either myself at Dagan_Hughes or at Rob Doster on Twitter.
Tell them to
Fat
drop
J11. Yeah, or drop your Twitter.
Drop a Twitter or Instagram handle in the chat.
Yes, so we can DM you your Top Golf gift card.
Jeff looks very upset that we chose Fat
No,
J11.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Don't worry about it. We'll let us handle this. You just
What did he
we
get
got-
the gift card for?
he asked the best question. He asked like the only question, so he by default won the best
He
question.
wins.
All right, good job.
Can I tell my TO story now? So TO, what happened when your career ended? Your college career.
I got ejected from my last
Just tell the story of what happened.
So I was coming off a down screen, and I threw an elbow, and I got kicked out of the game.
Who did you
I
elbow?
love bringing this back
Who
up.
did you elbow?
It was Stu.
Stu Douglas.
Stu Douglas.
The host of
Our very own.
Field of 68.
World comes at you full circle.
Do you remember apologizing to him on a flight?
Yeah, I did.
So what happened? Just take me through
I
the
scared
the
him because
apology.
I walked around and I was like, "Hey, man, I just wanted to say sorry." He goes, "Dude, I elbow people all the time." There's Ryan Hawkins, by the way. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I elbow people all the time. It's no problem at all."
Go get him! Go get him! Go
Ryan
get him!
Hawkins.
Go!
Go get Ryan Hawkins.
Go! So keep telling the story.
No, I just walked around. I think I scared him. I was like, "Hey, man, my bad." I was like, "That's it. Is there more? Is there more to the story?" This is
There is so much more to the story, and you guys want to listen. So, Stu Douglas. It was a running joke on those Michigan teams that no one could keep Stu Douglas. That they couldn't keep track of Stu Douglas and Zach Novak. John Beilein couldn't do it. He would always get those two confused. You did not apologize to Stu Douglas. You apologized to Zach Novak. Yeah.
What? You didn't apologize to them?
Because
they look the same.
They look exactly the same.
bad.
But Zach, because it was on a flight back. I want to say he was playing in Sweden at the time.
I was playing in Sweden.
Yeah,
he was
so
playing in.
it was on a flight
Holland.
back from Sweden.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What?
Ryan Hawkins is in the house.
Surprise guest.
Surprise guest.
Can't complain.
Glad you popped by.
Sure.
Well, we saved your life because I could see the lightning and the thunder out there.
I was
So
going to try and beat that rainstorm, get to dinner, but
Right.
I'm fast enough. I think I can get in between the raindrops, but
Right. You never know when you're going to get stopped for an interview. Now, you got to tell me, because we talked way back in October and November, and I asked you if you like to fish, and you took great offense to that for your off-season activity.
I didn't take offense to it. It's just not my thing. There's just a lot of other things I'd rather do than fish.
What is your thing on the water?
Water skiing, slalom skiing.
Huge water skier.
Yeah.
Huge.
the one time I tried to go water skiing, I couldn't get up.
Oh, come on,
I
you
got
got a
stuck.
better teacher.
Is that the only time you've ever said that? So look, here's the thing. I got to ask about the biggest difference because you played Division II. Now, the best Division II over the past 10 years or whatever it is, because you guys have been great. And then you step up, and I've always said this because I coached at the Division II level. The difference between Division I and Division II is typically about 3 inches in height, about 30 pounds, and 3 slices of pizza. And I'll tell the rest of the 3 slices of pizza portion of the story later. But I want to hear how it was for you to adjust to the different levels.
Well, I do love pizza. I'm going to start it with that.
Okay, good.
It's probably my favorite food group.
Food group all in itself.
But yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head. Everyone's bigger, more athletic, stronger. You got 7-footers in the lane that are, you don't have to block the shot to alter it.
Right.
And sometimes it's better to alter the shot and not block it. Right. And man, just getting thrown in the Big East and just the athleticism, it takes you by surprise. But then at the end of the day, you just got to sit down and do what you do and don't overcomplicate things. I'm a shooter, spread the floor. When I have an angle, drive to the rim, try and create for others.
Right. Your head coach, Greg McDermott, just gets signed to a multi-million-dollar contract extension. He plans to be at Creighton for life. He talked about that. What is it about Mac that makes it easy to play for him?
First and foremost, I think I should get 10%. Just I hope Max sees this and he agrees. But, no, it's his personality. He just allows you to be you. And the group that he was kind of dealt with this year, it's unusual for him even. Like a coach that's done it for, you look at him, he's old, he's done it for a long time. He better watch this now.
I love this.
But you just look at what he's able to do. He brings in a bunch of strangers and a bunch of young guys and throws 3 older guys in there and says, this is it. We got to find a way to do it. And he didn't panic. You look at us in November and December, we didn't look great. There were times that we were losing games that we shouldn't have been. And, I watched the Kennesaw State game. And I was like, that's not the same team.
Right.
I watched it in March. It's like, we're a night and day difference, and I think it just goes to show his level of patience and his trust in his players.
Hey, you've talked to Fanta all year. I got to ask you questions now. So, look, here's my thing with I thought you were terrific for Creighton this year because I thought you were the steadying force. Like, you had all these young freshman point guards. You kind of settled them down. Whenever they were in trouble, they found you. And then everything seemed to settle down. They kind of got in their groove. What did you do to kind of settle those guys down? Because you had a lot of talent at the guard spots. They just needed a little bit of time. How did you were kind of their crutch, right?
I talked.
You talked.
Communicate.
That's it.
They get in a tough spot. They get sped up. Communicate. Let them know you're behind them. You got an outlet for them to easy pass, get it downhill to somebody else. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing you can do, especially when you look at the job that Nembhard and Trey were able to do running the guard spots. Not a lot of experience there at the college level. They got thrown into the fire. They handled it really well. Just communicate. Let them know that, you make a mistake, I'm still giving you the ball next time, Nembhard or Trey. You're going to figure it out. You're going to get it corrected, and you don't want to make the mistake either. Look at the second half of the season. Those guys did not make mistakes. They did not play like freshmen, and a lot of that's credit to Coach Mack and giving them the confidence, but then a lot of credits to them. And
I'm crediting you. That was my whole point of the question. It's all you, man.
You got to give the credit to everyone.
That's right.
It's a team sport.
He's a team player, Tio. You wouldn't know anything about that.
I can't even get guys' names right, apparently.
Yeah. Ryan, let me ask you this. So, you guys beat Villanova by 20 earlier this season. You also lost them in the Big East title game. What changed between the big win and the loss? How have they improved?
Villanova?
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to do what they do. It's a script written out. They're just going to execute it better than you can do it. They're going to tell you, this is exactly what we're going to do. Try and stop us. And they're just going to execute better. They're going to be more fundamentally sound. They're just going to impose their will on you. Whatever they want to do, they're going to do. And that's kind of the really cool thing about watching them. Obviously, your heart goes out to Justin Moore watching him go down, but Villanova's a great team, and I think it goes to show the level of quality of basketball in the Big East, and the way that Creighton was able to hang with it. And I felt like we opened a lot of eyes with a really, really young group.
All right, last question for you. What are your plans this weekend down in New Orleans, and what's next for you? Are you playing in anything this week? What's going on?
Yeah, doing the 3-on-3 tournament.
Oh, nice.
Who else is on the Big East team?
RJ Cole and Tyrese.
Tyrese Martin.
Yeah, you might get.
I'm a UConn guy.
Rob, is Teddy Allen playing in that as well?
Anybody listening right now, we are looking for an assistant producer. We have a position open.
You're getting a drink from me off that. That was phenomenal. That was so.
First, I got kicked off my own show. Now I'm getting trolled. This is unbelievable.
I think it's funny.
That was G Wizzy right there.
That
wasn't Greg Waddell. That was G Wizzy.
He's officially in the building.
What's next year? What are you thinking?
I think after 3-on-3 is 4-on-4. But, going to go through the process of trying to find an agent and finding someone that's going to be good for me and then finding the right fit. So many of these guys I feel like are caught up on looking at the money in it.
Yeah.
But it's like, go somewhere where you're going to be happy and you're going to have everything you want.
And then everything else will come back after.
Exactly.
That. That's the right mindset, man.
I got to play basketball for a job. I have the best job in the world.
Absolutely. And that tells me everything I need to know right there.
Ask him what he did in his last game.
Which one? I'm not. We're going to rehash this. I elbowed Zach Novak.
Ryan Hawkins, thank you. Congratulations
awesome stuff.
on your leadership this year at Creighton.
I'm glad I walked by that window.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming by.
And you can be like Ryan Hawkins at Gordon Biersch because we're right back with you. tomorrow at high noon as we wrap things up. We're on 12 to 2 tomorrow, local time. We're on 6 to 8 local time. All right, let's wrap things up here. Field of 68 after dark.
Cheers of the night.
Cheers of the
You gotta
night.
do 3 cheers.
Who
4
you-
cheers.
Four
4 cheers.
Go ahead.
All the cheers.
My first toast is going to go to Ryan Hawkins, who showed up, stole the show. We might, if the professional route doesn't work out for him, we are going to be replacing Greg Waddell here. So, yeah, my cheers to Ryan Hawkins, who walked by and stole the show. We just saw him out.
He did.
We literally,
Terrific.
that was not planned, guys. We saw him out the window, and we were like, yeah, Goodman, go chase him down. That was the fastest Goodman's ever run.
Yeah,
I've never seen him
he
move
hit
like
some
that
high
before.
knees. He hit some high knees.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm going to go with Steve Forbes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Steve Forbes. I mean, chucking down some beers and some wings back there now. He's hanging out with us. But, no, he's a great guy, doing a great job, and just appreciate him coming out, hanging out with us.
What a turnaround he had this year. My cheers goes to Big Dagan, Nutsaga Dagan, and everybody else who showed up.
Big
early.
Dagan.
Cheers to Dagan. He's
he left
responsible
on Monday. He
Yeah,
drove down on Monday to get down here.
Yeah, and he's
from
that's
Harrisburg.
He's done an excellent job, and this set turned out really nice. So, hey,
that's my
Dagan,
job.
cheers to you.
Thanks
Excellent
to you.
work, sir.
Much
Excellent
appreciated.
work.
Yeah, and my cheers go to Wade Mason.
Yeah, how about that?
What he did, he was our first guest of the week. That'll be our most memorable guest of the week because of his story.
Right.
You want to talk about an inspiration? Cancer in some way, shape, or form affects everybody, and he's seen it up front and personal. His fight is inspiring. Get to the pump party tomorrow night. It's for a great cause. It's a fundraiser. Wade Mason, cheers to you because you're an inspiration to us all. So that does it for us. We're back at noon tomorrow. You guys are going to be revved up.
Noon Central.
Noon
correct?
Central,
Noon Central.
right?
Yep.
Central.
We're back at noon Central time. Noon to 2 Central, then 6 to 8 Central. Join us here at Gordon Biersch. We're here all day. Meet these guys, meet coaches. It's the Field of 68 after